and 5, baby.
All right, turn me up. Build me up, buttercup.
This is how we do it. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Up and Z. Test it. Yeah, that's good. For now.
Hello? 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 Hello?
Definitely
Hello?
turn me down, brother.
How's that? Is that better? How we doing? How we doing?
Still loud.
Too loud?
Still loud.
Mine
not
feels
too
great.
loud.
How's that, Norm? Is that better?
That's better.
Okay, that's good.
right.
How we doing, everybody?
There's nobody here.
How we
the
doing?
alert-
How we doing?
The alert just went out.
Hey, we are live in 5.
All right, give me a second to do all the posts so we actually have people watching.
Okay. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, okay. I didn't want that. Okay. That's that. Uh-oh.
Her.
First,
Her.
as always, Tyler Page. Nice to see you.
Is it though?
Sometimes.
PXG. Hope you don't mind.
We do whoops different. Do them wrong. We do it different. You eat bald eagles for breakfast? Okay.
Is your name Rybo and you dodged a bullet?
Oh my God.
Buddy.
That was, yeah.
When I saw that, I almost was like, whoa!
Yeah, I shared that with a wife today. She goes,
I
ooh,
I said it to Steph today too, and she's like,
ducks. Dodge, dip, duck, dive, and dodge.
dude, like I said, she just started posting that dude at the end of
If you
July.
could dodge a bartender, you could dodge a ball.
She just started posting pictures of that dude at the end of July. Like, we're talking a month.
Hey, you know,
They work fast in the South.
to each their
They
own.
work fast in the South. Cost of living's cheap and the productivity is high.
Wow. Who? Mike Jones.
Oh, God.
Oh, buddy. All right.
Hold on.
No, I'm holding.
Still doing things.
Skirt. Wow, that's not what I wanted. Okay. Oh, I'm tired, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad. Didn't you have the day off?
Yeah.
So did we. Dude, can we just not record unless it's a holiday? Because
Oh, it's delightful, right?
so nice to just take 95 the whole way, and I didn't hit the brakes once. I just cruised.
Alrighty. Thank you.
Yo, that is sick. Look at some guy took a picture of last night, and he did a transition from.
Day to night.
Wow.
That's cool as hell.
That's badass.
I would put that on my wall.
I'd put you on my wall.
Ooh.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah, we're good now. All the links are posted. We have a grand total of 4 viewers.
Let's do it.
4.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another episode of the Loose is Fast podcast, your podcast home for all things NASCAR and some things not. I am Kyle Belcher, joined as always by Daniel Walker
I gotta poop real bad.
and Norm Pelletier.
You boys like Mexico?
On today's episode, we will talk some NASCAR news, recap the Southern 500 weekend, answer some questions, have some fun along the way, chat with our YouTube watchers, if you will. But before we get into that and all of the fun that is this wonderful production that we try to put on, Dan, tell the people how we do just that.
Just that? Only that?
That's it. That's all we produce.
Okay. You can check out our OnlyFans. Never mind. Sorry. Different production.
Feats.
I didn't know we were releasing that just yet.
We're still work in progress. We got to get the angles right.
Totally fence.
We are brought to you this week and every other week by the Revival Motoring Network and revivalmotoring.com/ Why would you put it over the address? Now they're never going to know where to go. Like, now they're never, I'm not even going to say
They
the
don't
link again.
go there.
Yeah, you're right. They don't. Revivalmotoring.com. Did you hit the wrong button? Is that why?
No.
Oh, okay.
Just having fun.
Yeah. Revivalmotoring.com/ B for B. Norm. Get it out of your system, Kyle. Come on. What's B for B stand for?
Bucks for the boys.
Suck it, nerd. Pucks for the boys. That is our way of keeping all the lights on, apparently blocking off the skylights to let less light in. That's a first.
Yeah, let light.
Let light. Less light. Let. Try to say that.
Samsonite. I was way off.
I was way off.
Look at the briefcase.
We keep the lights on in this place, keep the mics hot.
Hot mics.
Keep the cameras rolling.
We have a local.
Keep merch from not happening. Working on it. Sorry, everybody.
We're trying.
We're trying. It's not on our end. It's on somebody else's end. Yeah, so you can go there, sign up for a monthly donation. You can do $2, $5, $10, or $20 a month, or a combination of those to make a number that suits you best. If you want to make a one-time donation, you can go to PayPal. Use info@revivalmotoring.com. That is also the home of Kyle's Race Day Challenge.
Hi.
What's that?
I'm Kyle, and that is my Race Day Challenge. If you donate the dollar amount that matches the driver's number you believe will win on Sunday and guess correctly, we'll send you a little something. Big shout out to Mr. Mike Underwood for taking a swing at Mr. Bubba Wallace. Great pick.
Honestly, yeah.
Great pick. Can't blame him there. And, of course, Joe, as always, with the Ross Chastain pick.
We haven't had
horrible pick.
We haven't had a winner in a hot minute.
Yeah.
It's been a while, so y'all got to get on that shit.
Yes.
If you
No,
don't-
same. I haven't won in a long time either. But anyway.
don't same.
Yeah.
Norm.
More frequently than me. Twice.
Norm last night. Oh, I'd like to thank everybody. I didn't do fucking shit.
Dance war.
That's okay.
We're deep enough in.
Now
I
we're
think
canceled. Thanks, Dan.
That's what I'm here for.
Canceled.
We also know that times are tough and not everybody can help monetarily.
No.
You should put yourself in the poorhouse for us, though. It
You
makes us
should.
feel good. You
Feels
can
great.
go leave reviews.
Reviews are nice.
Go to Apple. On Apple Podcasts, you can leave text reviews. We don't have any new ones. It's been a minute since we had one of those.
Boo.
So if you haven't done that yet, go leave us a text review because we love reading them when you say nice things or mean things or any of those things.
Preferably nice and or constructive criticism.
Yes, nice or constructive criticism are preferred. Usually the people that leave mean stuff just don't write anything down. They just leave 1 star and then move on.
Yeah, I would prefer some constructive criticism.
Yeah.
We hate when whatever happens.
Yeah, like tell us what we're doing wrong. I'm sure it's a lot of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe there's a character.
We
limit
like
on the
feedback.
reviews.
Feedback is good.
Yes. You can go to Spotify, leave us a 5-star review. Oddly enough, only button that works. We're up to $1.48 on those.
Yep.
Doing pretty good.
Doing great.
Also, other ways you can help non-monetarily. Join the Discord. Come help put the show on. Give us shit to talk about. Our
Yeah.
race day chat last night was
Poppin'.
a shit storm. Nothing.
Nice.
It was, though. It was really bad for a while there. You can send us news and other things. Usually it's a race when news comes out to see who can get in the Discord first, and then there's lots of yelling when that person reposts something. It's a good time.
Scroll up.
Yeah. Scroll
up, idiot.
up, nerd. I love saying that. It's fun.
It's fun.
You can share this episode when it comes out, when you're listening to it. Share the nice graphic we post on Instagram and Twitter.
Or post where you're listening and tag us.
Yeah, do that. Scumbag did it last week. Post it on your post a picture of your radio showing that we are on it.
Yeah.
And then maybe your friends will be like, what are those idiots?
Take a selfie and just say, hey, I'm listening to this.
Yeah.
Show that we're live and popping, y'all.
Yeah.
Do it.
Do that.
Yeah.
So that's the B for B minute. I'm done.
Thanks so much for that, Daniel. We appreciate all of your efforts.
Wrap it up.
We are going to call back, as always, to the TV ratings. Daytona had a great showing last weekend. 3.6 million viewers, peaking at 4.2 million viewers
Peaking!
just before 11 o'clock at night, which is a 6% jump over last year, which is
Huge.
wonderful.
Huge.
Wonderful news to get into. So, our other callbacks that I now hate. Kudos to our regular season champion, Mr.
shame we didn't
Norm Pelletier, going 5 for the last 6 weeks in a row, winning yet again with nothing higher than a 13th place
Talk
finish.
about how the trophy he just found in the studio and has given himself is the Rhode Island's worst driver trophy.
It's a trophy.
Trophy, nonetheless, that neither of us have.
Here's
So,
a W.
calling back, that is the biggest L I've ever seen because it is a Maserati
Maserati
emblem. Anyway,
That's an M. That's W if I've
that's
ever-
for
calling
That's
back
for
to
Wumbo.
Darlington, I chose Justin Haley, who did actually finish, so that's pretty good. Dan chose Mr. Ryan Blaney, who
Bro,
made it a
Didn't
whopping
even start, to be honest.
2 laps.
I would like to pen my formal apology to Jet Daily, Joe Soul, and all of the Ryan Blaney bathtub nation. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But I called it last week when I said I'm the only person with a playoff driver left, and I'm still going to finish last.
Yep. But Norm, with a stellar performance, finishing 17th, gets yet another victory.
Didn't he finish like 13th?
No, that would be 17.
No. Well, my boy got wrecked twice. Still came back to a 17th place finish.
Yep,
So,
that's how
including
dismal.
an intentional right hook NASCAR. You need to look at this.
Yep. So
was my
that
main man, Todd.
gives Norm the regular season championship, which gives him the additional point, bringing his grand total now to 17 points to my 13 and Dan's 5. Norm has ran away in the last 2 months.
He has.
Congratulations, Norm. Well deserved.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now that we are moving into the playoffs, the picks have since reset. What?
You Rick Allen? Now!
Yeah, just bringing them back. You screwed me all up. Heading into
how's
the
it feel?
playoffs, we reset our picks, so now we can pick anyone we want yet again. The same rules apply. Pick them once, and off we go. Dan finishing a whopping 2 laps of the Southern 500 gets to choose first.
This has shades of last year. Remember when we started doing this last year? The first race of the playoffs, I think, was Kansas, and I picked Truex, and he made it like 2 laps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, this feels oddly familiar.
Yep. Who are you picking for Atlanta? Dan.
Who won Spring Atlanta? Oh, that's right. That was the 3 wide.
Yep.
Yeah. Suarez.
This is a throw it at the wall and hope it sticks kind of race, isn't it?
Yep. A little bit.
Give me McDowell.
McDowell. Not a bad choice. Front row McDowell. I am going to take the man who nearly made his way into the playoffs on points, had a great race overall. I'm going with Mr. Bubba Wallace.
Oh!
We have the entire field, and he picks the one guy I was going to fucking pick.
Man has something to prove, Mr.
I was going to
Bubba
say it was going to be
Wallace.
ironic if he just wins the race right after he misses the playoffs.
I hope he does.
So I'm going to go with the other guy who should have been in the playoffs but was robbed, Mr. Christopher Buescher.
Good pick. Very good pick. Both, I think, which were robbed.
Speaking,
Buescher.
I would like to, speaking of the playoffs, and since we're in pick territory, let's talk about our playoff picks.
Yeah, I guess we could.
Who won the playoff picks
We
battle?
could probably.
I missed 4. I went through mine last night.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
I
So
only missed. I missed 4 as well.
okay, so Norm has Mr. Bubba Wallace, who did not make it. Ross Chastain, who did not make it. Buescher, who did not make it. Kyle Busch, who did not make it. So you got 4 wrong. Dan,
I have Buescher, Bubba, LaJoy, and Bush.
Buescher, Bubba, LaJoy, Bush. So you also got 4 wrong. I have Bush, who did not make it. I have Bubba, who did not make it. Chastain, Buescher.
Kyle Busch.
I said that.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, so we all got 4 wrong.
Yikes.
Pretty much the same 4, except for Dan, who
I went 15 for 60 in the first year we did this,
you did.
and not so much. And also, let's take a quick look at the Rookie of the Year battle. We have, I
tight.
chose Mr. Josh Berry, who's done pretty well,
was probably like 23rd, 24th in points.
something like that. We also have Dan with Mr. Carson Hocevar, who I think is doing slightly better as of late.
Last I heard, Hocevar was in front of.
He is,
But
yeah.
who knows?
Well, after the wreck, who knows? And Norm chose the guy that got fired 10 months into his multi-year contract, Mr. Zane Smith. So we'll see how those shake out for the duration of
Let's look real
the
quick.
season.
Carson Hocevar is 22nd. Josh Berry is 24th. And Zane Smith is the last car of full-time drivers, 34th.
Yikes.
Attaboy, Norm. We're proud of you. Good pick there. So we'll see how things shake out at the ever questionable Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Yeah, like I said, this is a throw it at the wall and see if it sticks kind of
Yeah,
race.
pretty much. Which brings us to the last part of callbacks, if you want to call that this segment, which we always like to review. Norm's Scheme of the Week. That was not good.
I wasn't paying attention.
Nope, you were not.
I jumped in at the end there.
Norm, we're pretty much all certain with what you're going to choose, but why don't you run the people through what your choices
Bring it up on the screen, Kyle.
I'm doing that right now. What do you got for the folks, Norm?
Well,
And we're done.
dude, that thing is that's
Yeah.
one of the
Why
best.
are we done, Norm? Tell the people what you chose.
The one Bush scheme, which is like a fictional throwback type of just retro scheme they got going on. It's damn near perfect. I have like 2 critiques of it.
Go on.
The chrome numbers, like I've complained every time.
Did
they've
it
done
actually
this.
show up with chrome numbers?
Yeah,
Are those
it did.
okay? In the picture, they don't look it. But.
Yeah, they apply the chrome after the fact. It's on top of the wrap, so like the first picture of it in the shop didn't have it, and
okay.
I was like, "Yes, we won!" And then they added it for the race.
It is perfect. It's perfect.
That's probably
Absolutely perfect.
like Harvick ran that logo style of Bush.
They had
beer.
the horses on it.
Yeah.
think,
I liked
think-
the horses.
I think that's better. Like I think this is.
Yeah, it's cleaner.
It's
I like
so
it. I like
clean.
the 3 gold stripes around the mountains
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's just
The
the numbers.
giant Bush logo on the door looks prime.
Did you see the hat that he was wearing too?
The white one?
The white hat.
Oh,
that was
fire.
see that.
Beautiful.
It was the interview at the end of the race.
It's beautiful.
Fire.
Yeah.
But yeah, scheme perfect. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. I have no honorable mentions because that's the one.
Yeah.
Go
There-
through them. There was a couple.
Like the 45, the 3. I like
The 3
that.
Toys for Tots was
Toys for
cute.
Tots does not
Scheme.
strike me as a middle of August sponsor. That's more of like maybe end of the year, closer to Christmas. But
Yeah.
6, that's a good scheme.
I love that scheme.
7, Chili's, it's a good scheme. 8, bad scheme. 9, I like the gold.
I like that.
10,
the
I
black
love
and
that
gold
Winchester scheme. 11 was cool.
with the
So
throwback,
there's a throwback to, is it Greg Hendrick?
something like that. It's some late model guy from Virginia, right?
Denny's run this scheme a handful of times.
Well, he's run
Or
that
the
number.
The number.
Yeah.
The number is famous. It's kind of like Scott Bloomquist 0.
Yeah.
It's a famous number font.
I like the 14.
I've always liked the high point schemes, and they do the black one every once in a while. It's really good.
Hey, Kyle, you wanna
The meat and bone.
meat and bone?
Meat and
I didn't even know who was in this car. It was somehow 35 laps down at lap 36.
Well, yeah.
It's still running.
Kaz was in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
16, good
Acceptance.com,
looking
whatever it
scheme,
is.
but I didn't like it. 19, I love that scheme. Unfortunately, it did not last very long.
It was in the race. He's dead to me. I like
23,
the.
I didn't like it.
It's one of the weaker Air Force cars, but
Yeah.
it's still not terrible.
Long John
Fish,
Silver's
yeah.
back as always.
42 is just
The 42
They've
mobile
run
one
that a
is
couple
just
weeks.
delightful.
43 is horrible.
What? The 45?
is possibly one of the worst schemes I've ever seen.
It's
in my
so
entire life.
bad.
It looks like I've given this critique before, and I mean it when I say it. It looks like a generic toy from Walmart.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Like it's just like somebody saw a race car once and goes, "Yeah, this is what a scheme looks like," and they put it on a little Tykes
Like
car.
there's no cohesiveness. Like why? Like the stripes.
The colors are horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, the scheme, the shape of it's horrible. The logo placement's horrible. The hood.
is a
I
mess.
just hate random hoods when they
Yeah.
do that shit.
Yeah.
I just
Although
think that entire scheme is bad.
hilarious. Sticks are amazing.
Sticks are unbelievable.
Sticks are unbelievable. The 45
51
though,
looked good.
45 though, great foreshadowing with that sponsor.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
66,
What
no
was
idea what's
that?
going on there. Perfect. Decent. Perfect.
Yeah. So the scheme of the week,
Hands down.
no question.
Honorable mention, if you would like, if you can, maybe bring up the Xfinity cars, that 44 Mac Tonight throwback.
Oh, it was
The
incredible.
Alpha Prime. I don't know who does their schemes.
They don't miss.
Their throwbacks, because they've had, at Darlington earlier this year, they did the City Chevrolet car. Their throwbacks are unbelievable because they're, like we've talked about, every other year we do the throwback weekend. If you can get it as close as humanly possible and get the sponsors to work and like change their logo to make it work, unless you can get the original sponsor, that's the best thing you can do.
Yeah.
And whatever the sponsor was on the 44 car this weekend, they were able to make it look exactly like Bill Elliott's Mac Tonight car that we all grew up, like we all remember that car from growing up.
Yeah.
And it was sick.
Alpha Prime just doesn't miss.
I just love that they, on Twitter on like Wednesday, they're like, we know it's not throwback weekend. We don't care.
No,
They just brought a throwback car.
As they should.
Yep.
And I think it's fantastic. So that does it for the scheme of the week. Thank you, Norm, as always.
Hey, you're welcome, man.
Now we'll head into the Some Things Not segment of our show, in which we call Off Track. Dan, what do you got for the folks?
Pretty slow week. I didn't really.
Sometimes
do
those are the
a
nice
whole-
ones.
Yeah, just the normal shit. Nothing really to write home about. First fair of fair season was Friday night.
Excellent.
I've become so remembered at the apple cider donut place that they gave me a free sundae this year.
Hell yeah. Two Donut Guy.
Donut guy.
Did he call you Two Donut Guy?
No, actually. Well, no.
Just didn't make you pay.
So how it worked was they posted. So they weren't at this fair last year. They have a building there for their app. They do Apple Crisp, and then they have the cider donut set up. They
Awkwardly in
have
front
a
of your face.
trailer that they bring to that show because they do like weddings and stuff. No, I don't want to look at you.
Move your bottle. I want to see your pretty face.
So they have a trailer that they have the cider donuts set up in because they do like weddings and shit like that. Last year they weren't there. I was pissed. So they had made a post on Facebook on like Wednesday. And they're like, oh, we're excited for the fair. And they showed like the Apple Crisp thing. And I was like, hey, you bringing the donuts this year or what? And like I ended up talking to the whoever runs their social media or whatever. I was like, you'll remember me. I'm the guy that gets 2 donuts on the Sunday. And she was like, wait, I remember exactly who you are. So
Hell
I
yeah.
show up and she's like, wait, is that Dan Walker? And I was like, hi. And she's like, you doubled my engagement on that post just because we were talking. She's like, you get a free Sunday.
Hell
And
yeah.
I looked back and it had like way more comments and shares and shit than the other ones. So just us bullshitting back and forth like made it more visible because algorithms are dumb.
Yep.
So she's like, yeah, you get a free Sunday. I was like, hell yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah. So ate a bunch of terrible food, but it was worth
the best.
Oh, dude, so I had the apple cider donut Sunday. We walk over, there's a barn that's all maple stuff.
Yep.
They have a maple donut sundae, and I was like, fuck it. I made it halfway through that. I was like, terrible choice. I've had like 4 or 5 donuts in 20 minutes. I'm dying over here. But yeah, good to get the fair juices flowing. Very fall-like night, which this fair usually is hot, so it's kind of nice to not be hot at a fair.
Which one was it?
Hopkinton.
Hopkins.
Yeah. I don't know if they did the demo derby this year. I was kind of upset. We went Friday. There was monster trucks going on, so I was serenaded during the fair to loud V8 noises and race gas, which was chef's kiss. But normally, like, the campground area is packed with all the people for the demo derby. It was empty. I was like, are they not doing a demo derby this year? Like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
That's usually Saturday night, so I don't know if
Yeah.
that happened or not. Yeah, and then just kind of long weekend. Played golf Saturday, Sunday. Another free thing. Went to the place we play all the time up the road from our house, and you go somewhere enough, you start to like they recognize you.
Yeah.
Bullshit with them, you know everybody. Walk in there Saturday, and the head pro at the place was like, "Take them off the tee sheet. They're not paying." I was like, "But," he's like, "Yeah, you guys are fine. You just go play." We're like, "Oh, okay,
Thanks.
thanks." Like out of nowhere, I was like, "Okay, cool."
That's nice.
Like so. Yeah, so
Got some good karma this
yeah, we
week.
did that Saturday after the last week. Last week, I needed it.
You earned it after the car trouble.
Yeah,
In the bat trouble.
putzed around with the GTI today. Didn't do anything today. Just kind of chilled out because I knew
Yeah.
we had this afternoon, so I'm not going to make any plans. We were wanting to go to the lake this weekend, but it was just not a good. Like if I'm going to the lake, I want it to be hot. It
Yeah.
was like here it was like at home it was nice enough, but up at the lake it was like I think yesterday topped out at like 70. I'm like,
Yeah.
not great. And it's been down in the 40s up there, so I'm like, I
Oh,
guarantee
wow.
you the water
Water's
is
freezing.
brick already
Yeah.
because it's a shallow lake. Does
It
not take
changed
long.
so fast.
Yeah. Beautiful at home today. So yeah, I fried around with GTI for a little bit today. I'm gonna probably end up having to bring it to my buddy's shop to look at it.
Yeah.
but
Better off.
whatever.
Better off. Well, hey,
that's about it. Just
good.
pretty
Good stuff.
chill situation this week.
Norm, what do you got?
Not too much. Played a little bit of poker on Friday night.
Win?
I didn't lose as much as I did a couple weeks ago.
Okay, that's solid.
Yeah,
I always look at gambling like if you don't lose a lot, but you get to play for a while, it's like money well invested.
It's a $20 buy-in. I go there with like $60 in my pocket.
That's every time.
It's not like I'm like, oh, can't pay rent this month.
Yeah.
It's like
every time me and Steph have gone to a casino, which is like 4 times, we go with like $100, and it's like if this gets us 3 or 4 hours of entertainment,
That's worth it.
that's all I need.
Yeah,
that's all.
You pay more than that to go
to
you know,
anything.
go-kart racing.
I paid more than that to go to the fair the other night.
I think I went to Foxwoods last year with like $200 in my
Yeah.
pocket, and I walked out with like $250 in my pocket. I was like, hell yeah, dude! I played blackjack for like 5 hours.
Yeah, the last time we went
Yeah,
to a casino,
that's a win.
Steph
That's
and I
a
went to
win.
the one in Boston a couple years ago, and it's like we walked in. I think we had $100 or $200 each. Pretty sure we lost all of it, but like we had fun. Like
Yeah,
we had a
exactly.
good time.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But when we play,
good.
I mean, it's just a chill Friday night game every couple weeks.
Yeah.
Right.
The last time I was like the first person ever to never win a hand in one night.
And boy,
I feel that with race picks.
It was I literally couldn't get a pair. Like I was just fucking getting my ass kicked the entire time. I lost all 60 of my dollars that I brought because I just kept buying chips from people because they kept disappearing for some reason. And so this week it started out the same, and I was in about a $40 hole, and then I kind of cleaned up at the end and won a bunch of hands. So like I think I lost $25, including buying pizza. Like
Yeah,
we all
okay.
throw in like
not
$5
bad.
for pizza, so I lost like $20.
I need to learn how to play poker.
It's not
Like,
bad.
I have no
I
It's
idea
don't
not.
how to
It's
play.
it's super fun.
I
dude.
have zero idea how to play.
I was
any type
super.
of poker.
I was super worried the first time because it's like my dad, some of his buddies, their kids, whatever. So it's like people that like play poker a lot. And I played Texas Hold'em years ago. I had like a Thursday night Texas Hold'em night with some buddies.
Yep.
And I did that years ago. But I'm like, fuck, I don't remember how to play cards.
Yep.
Like I can deal and shuffle and all this, but I'm like suits and hands and stuff like that. I was like, I'm kind of rusty.
Yep.
So I was super worried, but they like it's pretty much like show your cards, show us what you got, and we'll kind of figure it out. Because you're like you put your cards down. Like I feel like all I have is 2 pair, and like we're looking at it like, dude, you have a fucking straight,
Yeah.
or you have a flush,
Yeah.
And it's so it's not super like it's not Vegas by any means. We're just having
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
So I just love it. I mean, my whole family loves playing cards, playing games, board games, and stuff like that. So like, my dad's like, hey. Going to Bobby's for poker. You in? I was like, fuck yeah, man. Like, I want to do that. That sounds
That's fun.
Nice.
Nice.
And then I did a barbecue at my buddies on Saturday. Played some yard games.
Yard games.
Played some good old fashioned drinking games, which is fun. Haven't done that in a while. So yeah, nice fun, chill Saturday afternoon. And then yesterday and today kind of didn't do much.
Had a great long weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was
awesome.
nothing better than watching the race. I said it last night during the race. I was like, you know how nice it is to get home after like playing golf at like 6 o'clock, turn the race on, and I don't have the Sunday scaries. Like,
Yeah.
just relaxing.
Yeah.
You know, when I had today to do nothing.
Yeah. I've been busy as always. No
You?
surprise there.
No way.
Yeah.
I wanted to I texted you what? Yesterday?
Yeah.
See what you're doing today? I wanted to like text you on Friday, and I just kept stopping myself. I'm like, no. He's gonna be like putting new siding on his house or something. Like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah. The last week or so, I've been working on the garage a lot. The shop side of the garage, as I call it. Rebuilt one of the benches that was there, so I just tore that out. Built a newer bench that's a foot deeper, 3 feet longer, and proper.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Where my garage is set up, there's like a ledge of the concrete before the
Yeah, we
garage
talked
obviously
about that
goes up.
last week. You said you cut the
So
feet
I
off.
cut the legs,
Yeah.
put them up against the wall, mounted the vise, and pegboarded the wall, and started organizing all the tools and stuff. 'Cause it just makes
Big-
life more efficient.
Big pegging guy.
Yeah, definitely. Was it yesterday? No, day before Saturday. I spent most of the day getting the truck and the Harlequin ready for roots.
The hell did you order that was wrong or sent to you wrong? What
Oh,
was
it's
that? What is that?
The lock lever.
Oh,
So when you
okay.
pull the pin on the lock on the door, it pivots obviously
okay.
to pull the rod on the door handle
You
to
ended
lock
up-
and unlock.
You ended up with the passenger side, and you needed a.
Yeah, I needed a driver's side. So took all the door cards off because I had my driver window was rattling. The glass was rattling when it was down. So tightened that up. Passenger front wasn't rolling all the way down because the speaker wire had hooked underneath it.
Oh.
So I tied that up and zip tied it. So I got that out of the way. Tried to fix the lock mechanism. Obviously, they sent me the wrong side, which sucks, but whatever. Washed the Harlequin, vacuumed the inside. It was just gross from using it. So fully detailed inside out the Harlequin. Also detailed the truck. So got those nice and ready to roll. And then today went down to Rhode Island, down this way. Met up with our buddy Tom and picked up some parts for the Cabrio.
Those do not know who Tom is. He's affectionately known as Old Man Tom.
Yep, Old Man Tom, the king of dust off, if you will. So picked up some door cards and a rear seat from him.
They got to bring back the season-ending meet. I missed that.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was fun. Even though we just get sandblasted on Newport Beach all morning.
Still fun though.
Still fun.
So pick up door cards and the seat bottom for my Cabrio to put those in, and then went over to Ryan from Topics. Went to his house, grabbed the trailer. We went and got some lunch, and had a beer on the pier down in New Bedford.
Yep.
Watched. It's like a little floating dock bar thing there. So we grabbed a beer and sat in the Adirondack chairs and watched all the people come try to dock and go to the bar. It was wonderful.
Chaos.
We sat there and just had a great time judging people's inability to drive their own boats.
Reminds me of what I used to do when I lived in Boston, when I would sit on the front steps and drink, watching people parallel park.
Oh, yeah. Same concept, just with floating docks.
Just with rich people.
It was an absolute...
No.
Really?
No.
Poors? Poors can afford boats?
Not good boats, most of which were old.
It's
tired.
absolute theater watching
Couple tuggies.
Watching people parallel park, watching people park boats, and watching people load and unload boats. Those three things...
Boat launch chronicles and shit like that.
Give me a cooler and a lawn chair.
Qualified captain on Instagram. Best page ever.
I will sit there all day and watch people on boat launches, boat docks, or parallel parking. It is makes you feel better about yourself because I'm like
Ryan and I had a absolute riot just judging people and making fun of everyone that we saw.
Have you ever seen the guys? I don't think it's qualified captain, but there's these guys that they always do boat launch stuff they're in the Great Lakes.
Mm-hmm.
There was one that they had like 100 people show up to a boat launch on it was like July 4th weekend. They were all there with like those big tubes, like the noisemakers, and they lined the boat dock. And there's this woman in a pontoon losing her mind because she's like, you can tell she's nervous in general.
Yeah.
But now there's like 100 people lining she's like, there's a cop there and she's yelling at him. He's like, they're not doing anything wrong. This is public land. Like they can hang out here if they want.
Yep.
She's like, you guys are fucking assholes. She misses the trailer, has to back up, misses it again.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it was the greatest.
There was a young kid working on the dock that was saving everyone's ass.
Oh, yeah. Those kids
Like,
are
kid
lifesavers.
knew his shit. I guess he's going to school to become a captain. Kid easily saved 5 boats from crashing into 5 other boats.
Other boats.
Oh,
Yeah.
and Ryan and I complimented the kid like 5 times. Like, how do you not lose your mind with these people that don't know anything?
And it's so easy because people overdo it. Like they're like, oh no, I'm backing up too hard, and they gun it, and now they jump forward.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I hate about my boat. The
He
pontoon.
caught multiple.
The pontoon is tough because I have this dead spot in the throttle, like this much of it. Especially in reverse, it's even worse. So it's like, all right, I'm almost there. Oh shit! Like there it is. It's all there. I gotta adjust the cable.
And
or
you're
something.
flat at all times.
Yes.
Like,
yeah. I'm not.
And you don't have a bow thruster of any kind.
I'm not on the ocean. This is me like backing into the sandbar.
Yeah.
And it's not that. It's the margin for error is unlimited. I couldn't imagine some of those docks that I see like in bays and you know, some of the harbors and stuff where you got all.
Oh, it was
boats
busy
around
day
you.
today, obviously.
I'm sure it was. Yeah.
So we had a good time. But that's about it. And gearing up for Roots Classic, which
Speaking
is
of
this
the-
upcoming weekend.
Speaking of the Harlequin, I actually ran across some not drama about your car, but the gentleman you bought it from. I saw a Facebook post today about why do people not like him, and in the comments was like pictures of your car and like, yeah, remember that Harlequin you got from Canada? I heard he screwed that guy over too, Jet.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was like, I know that car.
yeah, it's fixed now.
Somebody commented,
Kinda.
I don't even know who the person was, and they're like, I love what Kyle's done with it though. And I was like,
Hey,
that's good. It was in
that's
like
me. I know
it was
that
in like
guy.
a Mark 1 group, so you can
Yeah.
tell the people posting it was like they don't have the strongest hold on the internet.
Right,
I was
right.
like, this is kind of fun.
Well, she's much better now.
Yes.
I promise. Cool. Shall we get into it?
Yeah.
Let's talk a little NASCAR.
Breaking news.
The news.
News.
Not much, but one thing that's really big.
A really, really big news week in one topic, if you will. NASCAR finally has released the schedule for 2025. Lots of changes.
They said this on the teardown today, and I kind of have forgotten about this, but like the schedule didn't change from like 2000 to like 2018.
Pretty much, yeah.
There was a couple little things like Loudon lost a race, Vegas got 2 races, like, you know, there was some moving and shaking there, but nothing like this is the 5th year in a row with a brand new track. And like not massive changes, but so many swings of where races are. I mean, this is now going to be our 3rd different date of Pocono.
Yeah.
We went Well, actually, I guess technically it's going back to when we went to the doubleheader. It was late June.
Yeah.
Then we went into July for a couple of years. Now we're back into like it's just everything's so moved around. It's crazy, but I love what they've been doing with the schedule for the last 5 or 6 years of like
They're keeping it interesting.
They're trying shit out.
Yeah.
You know?
I think a lot of that credit goes to Ben Kennedy.
I agree.
I know he's the mastermind behind a lot of those things. I mean, obviously, it's the whole team involved. It's not just one man that could do everything himself. But they gave him a ton of credit for the Clash attempt, and I'm sure he has a lot to do with the Mexico thing, which we're going to talk about.
Like when we were kids, we talk about when we were younger all the time. For how many years could you set your watch by the NASCAR
100%.
schedule?
Yeah.
It was Daytona, Rockingham, off week, California. I can still remember most of the schedule when
West
we were
Coast
kids because it was like it was the same shit every year. It never changed. Ever.
No.
Ever.
No. And I think it's nice. Some of the high-level highlights, the Truck Series is up to 25 races now. They've added a handful of things to it. A big one, Rockingham is back.
I'm so excited. I heard a lot of people were worrying about because that place was really bumpy back when they were still using it. And apparently, I think Ricky Harden was saying people were worried that it was going to lose that, but I guess they just kind of did like a scrape off the top and skim coat it. So it's got new asphalt, but it's still very uneven and undulating.
Kept its character.
Which is what it needs, I think. That's going to be great.
Wow, look at you.
And as long as they used whatever tire they used for Atlanta, which seems to be aging by the second, we'll be good.
Yeah, I mean, Rockingham is such an individual racetrack.
It's wild.
That it was such a bummer when they got rid of it because it's like, it's not a cookie cutter. It's so different from the rest.
What is it, like a mile?
It's like Rockingham mixed with Dover. Richmond mixed with Dover.
It is. It's a D oval, but it's only like a mile, maybe a little over a mile, and it's got high bank corners. Like, that's sick.
It's such a cool track.
1.6.
Okay, it is a mile. It is a mile and a half, really?
Mm-hmm.
But the banking is so severe at that track.
Yeah.
Like the backstretch is like Dover. Like you're going down the backstretch and you're like, we're on the backstretch. There's still so much banking.
And you dive into the corners.
The turns are freaking massive. The front stretch, you come off turn 3 and turn 4, and there's just massive
22
whoops.
to 25 degrees.
Yeah.
There's like a massive whoop section before you get to the tri-oval, so the car's all out of shape out of turn 4. It's such a cool track, and I'm glad they kept it alive just long enough to get it saved.
Because there were pictures not long ago of that thing looking like North Wilkesboro, and then they cleaned it up, and they've been using it.
The last car that was probably on it was Mike Harmon when they got fucking arrested.
And then I know they've been using the infield and shit for drifting and all sorts of stuff. Like Bowman's been there a bunch with his drift
So when
car.
they skim coated, did they keep the concrete turns or no?
I don't think so.
Is it all?
never had-
It never
I thought
had-
it
no,
had
didn't have
concrete turns.
No,
No.
that's always asphalt.
Oh, my bad.
But I mean, that place I remember 5-6 years ago seeing pictures of it with completely overgrown, like it had been
Right,
forgotten
well, they still
about.
did like the big rig racing there or whatever.
Yeah, and then I know they've had, like I said, they did drifting in the infield. I know last year in that vintage stock car group that we're in on Facebook,
They
I saw
raced like
pictures
modifieds
of like
there or something, didn't they, with Bobby Labonte?
They were supposed to be modifieds and I think late models there like last year, the year before, but there was a tire issue. Like they couldn't get enough tires, so they just canceled it. But they do like vintage racing there. There's all sorts of shit in the infield.
It's
so that
such a
track
cool
has
track,
stayed alive.
But unfortunately for Rockingham, it had probably the biggest hurdle possible, which is Dale Jr. hates Rockingham.
Yes.
So unlike North Wilkesboro, that Dale Jr. loves North Wilkesboro, so they would do anything they can to save it. Junior,
Oh, the concrete turns is their little short track thing.
Yeah.
Junior openly hates Rockingham.
Yep.
Has never liked it for whatever reason. It's one of those, they say drivers like
He
tracks.
never did good there.
Like Eric Jones, just for some reason, just clicks at Darlington. Junior had the exact opposite effect at Rockingham. And unfortunately for Rockingham, I should say, NASCAR Jesus, when he speaks, it comes to fruition. And when Junior says he doesn't like something, usually it goes away.
Yep.
So
I'm very excited.
I'm happy it's back. I think it was like my sole like oval win on NR 2003 that wasn't a road or a super speedway.
Yep. I love that it's the Xfinity and trucks because I think those are going to put on a hell of a show there. I don't know how Next Gen would do there. I mean, maybe
Being
good.
so stiff, but they're working on them. I mean, they're getting better and better. I mean, bring the new tire there.
Yep.
Woo, that could be fun.
Yep. So I'm very excited to see that's back.
Yeah, absolutely. Lime Rock has been added as well.
That's probably one we'll be at. That's only a couple hours from us. I think that's going to be a mess. I really want to know what
riot.
I want to know what layout they're going to run because there's like 6 different layouts of that place with varying chicanes and not chicanes and stuff like that.
Yeah, but Lime Rock's weird because it's like a big circle.
It's all rights.
So yeah, there's no like you go to Watkins Glen or Sonoma and like you sit in one spot, you can see multiple spots of the track because it kind of almost intersects itself.
Yeah.
But Lime Rock just like does the perimeter of the
Of a hill.
of the
There's a hill in the
property,
middle.
yeah.
There's a hill in the
It
middle.
just does like a perimeter of the property. So it's like if we go there, which we want to, I think we all
I think that's the
think
plan.
that would
yeah.
be a good idea. It's like you're sitting in one spot and you can only watch one
I
spot.
think the best spot is to sit over by like where turn 1 is when they come off the straightaway. They go through that corner, and then there's a complex there, and there's a big hill off to
I
the
was
side of
thinking-
it, so you can sit there and see like
I don't know the
first
track.
like 5 or 6 corners.
I don't know the track all that well, but also the one spot I've been inside of Lime Rock was a go-kart track, and I know right next to that is like the long straightaway.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I
Watch them
sat
come
when
zipping
we
down
went
that.
years ago for me and a buddy got free tickets to American Le Mans Series, like 4th of July weekend. We sat coming down the hill into the last corner because the last corner is a downhill, like right-hander. That was sick. And it was really cool because that was the Corvette years. So it's like you'd hear all the Porsches and the loud, high-pitched, and then the earth would start moving. It's like, oh, fuck, here come the Corvettes,
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a blast. It's a tight, narrow track, but you have high speeds with the front stretch being so long, and then depending on how they run the back stretch, because like they can set that up where you come in like a long sweeping corner up the hill onto the back stretch, or they put chicanes in because Matt Wood was actually on Revival last week, oddly enough, right before this was announced, talking about Lime Rock because it's one of the stops on Revival's rally coming up in October. And he was talking about how they changed the track over the years. And in the 90s, it was getting to the point where cars were getting like 2 feet off the ground when they crest the hill, like
Right,
prototypes
so they put
and
like
shit.
they
were-
put like a bus stop right before they crest the hill, right?
Yep. So it depends on what layout they run. I think it'll
Right.
be awesome regardless. I know Busch North has raced there, Modified's raced there for a while too, which was sick. Which makes no sense to me because those cars only go left. So like, how the
I'm
fuck?
sure it'll be fun in person for like I'm sure it'll be a party atmosphere.
Yep.
At Lime Rock, but on TV, I bet this will be a good race.
I think it'll be great.
because it's freaking scenic.
Oh,
so the
Lime Rock's
shots,
beautiful.
Yeah.
the freaking helicopter shots and stuff around Lime Rock are going to be sick. It's going to be great on TV. In person, like I said, just because the layout of the track, you're not going to see a whole bunch.
I mean,
but
even-
you'll have fun.
Even Coda, when we went to Coda, like where we sat on Sunday, we saw what was in front of us and we could see turn 1. That's about it.
Yeah.
Roval's going to be a whole different animal because you can see everything from everywhere. So
Yeah, I'm so
yeah.
excited about that.
Trucks have also added Watkins Glen.
I thought they went there. I forgot they stopped going. Did they ever go there before? I think they did.
A long time ago, I believe.
Did,
A
but
long time ago, yeah.
I thought everybody went.
Michigan has been added for the trucks as well. Also, New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Yep.
We are losing Xfinity, but we are gaining New Hampshire Motor. Gaining trucks.
Yeah, when I said I wanted trucks back for the last couple years, I didn't mean at the expense of Xfinity. But
Yeah, I wanted the freaking Saturday.
It'll be a nice
better
change,
back.
though.
what I would love, my perfect New Hampshire schedule would be mods on Friday, like much like Pocono, like mods on Friday night, Xfinity trucks on Saturday, and Cup on Sunday. Like that. Because that's how, when we were kids, it would be like, I remember Saturday triple headers with the trucks, the mods, and Busch North on Saturday.
Or Bush
Yeah.
North and trucks. Or,
Yes.
So that would be the main event. That's what I would go see as a kid when my dad didn't want to pay for Sunday.
Yep, same.
He'd do general admission for Saturday, and we'd watch a triple header.
That's how I grew up. I have so many triple header tickets. It's somewhere in a box from those.
Yeah.
I'm excited though. I think the trucks will be fun, and it's in the playoffs, like we talked about. So I think it'll up the ante on racing there.
Yeah.
I think the trucks will be fun there.
What else we got? That's it for truck changes.
they
Well, they
lose.
lose Gateway, one of the Kansas, and Milwaukee.
Don't love
Coming
them
off.
losing Kansas.
I don't love them losing Gateway and Milwaukee.
No, Milwaukee.
I
Is,
feel like those are truck-sized tracks.
Milwaukee and Loudon are interchangeable, so that doesn't bother me because they're very similar, mile-long flat tracks. They're very similar. So that I look as just a clean swap out, much like John Borst does in the Pro Series, where 1 year we'll run Milwaukee, the next year we'll run Loudon.
Yeah.
It's so weird because people are always like, I've always said that. I was like, Milwaukee is literally Loudon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even like coming off turn 2, like the tunnel walls are shaped the same. Milwaukee feels identical to Loudon. Everyone's like, dude, it's nothing like Loudon. This is nothing like Loudon.
Pretty close.
I'm like, you could literally interchange them, and I don't think anyone would notice.
Yep.
That's about it for the truck mentions. Xfinity added, obviously, Rockingham, which we just talked about. Mexico, which we'll talk about when we get into the cups. Gateway, Bristol, one.
Spring. Yep.
Yep. Loses Richmond, Darlington, 2, New Hampshire, and Michigan.
Oh, so they're not going to be at Darlington Southern 500 weekend?
Nope.
Oh, that's lame. We just saw a really good race this week.
Yeah,
I know.
that's kind of the bummer with that is I have no problem. I hate saying it because it is a staple of NASCAR, but Richmond see ya.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
It is what it is. Not even the Xfinity cars put on a good show there, but Darlington.
Yeah.
I mean, the Xfinity cars. How many freaking like replay reels of good races we got from Darlington and Xfinity cars?
Yep.
I know they're going there in the spring, but it would have been nice to have both.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah, so that's that. And then the cup changes. Obviously, we talked about Bowman Gray for the Clash.
Yes. That will be
Mexico
interesting.
was announced this past week. NASCAR will officially be going to Mexico for the first points-paying race in the Cup Series.
Pretty sure that is the reason why the schedule took so long.
Most likely.
Yeah, because they were trying to hammer that out.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. Going international. We've talked about it for years, and here we are.
This should be like an F1 size crowd.
Well,
This place is going to be busting.
did you
at the
hear?
seams.
I think it was on the broadcast last night, or maybe it was during practice. They were talking about Suarez, how he already had to call NASCAR for help because he's had so many people asking for tickets. He's like, "Hey, can you guys can I set up like a hotline or something for these people to call?"
Yeah.
Like it's going to
Like
be
we saw his first win at Sonoma, the Amigo section.
Yep.
That's going to be the entire like inside of the track grandstands.
What I'm
and the outside of the
excited-
track
It's gonna be the
grandstands
whole track.
is going to be
Period.
general admission.
I think this is the same track that F1 runs, and if it is, there's a section that goes through a baseball stadium, and it's sick because like they come in through the stands, and it's all like baseball stadium stands over here and behind, and then they go out through like they come in. I think there's like a chicane, and then they go out through the stands the other side.
That's
it's
sick.
Such a sick section.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be an absolute packed crowd.
Yeah.
Judging by the reaction, like I said, what Suarez was saying, I think it's going to be insane.
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful idea. I think it's the easiest way to kind of dip our toe into going international without being
Too much.
putting
It
cars
is
on
quite a
planes
hike,
and
though.
It's really not. Someone
it
did
look-
the mileage, and it's actually less far from like Charlotte, the Charlotte area. It was, I think, Fontana and Sonoma were farther.
Really?
Yes.
Because it was like deeper into Mexico than I thought it was. I thought
Yeah.
it was closer to Texas.
No,
than
someone-
the top,
I-
but it's kind of like almost down the
I
bottom.
forget where I saw it. It was posted in news in our Discord like 17 times. The mileage, and it wasn't as far as some of the West Coast
okay.
tracks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So
I mean, I don't think they can lose with this
no, not at all.
unless Kyle Busch gets arrested again.
Yeah. Yes, and that brings us to our next point, which Kyle Busch will be okay to travel into Mexico after his legal troubles last year.
Was that
2 years
last
ago?
year? That was
2 years
long.
ago.
That was 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
He's gonna have like fucking Secret Service.
Yeah, I
with
was
him,
going to
dude.
say, they say that until he steps foot off the plane.
Yeah. Gotcha, bitch.
Put your hands on your head.
Gotcha. Pow.
Federales don't play.
All right, some changes to the playoffs as well for the Cup Series. Atlanta, Homestead, and Watkins Glen are now out of the playoffs. Darlington, Gateway, and New Hampshire Motor Speedway are now in the playoffs.
Dub.
I'm so goddamn
Big
excited.
win for us, New Englanders,
September.
Have you guys been having people text you left and right?
constantly.
I've had a couple. Yeah.
I've had multiple people like, "What's this mean? Like, what are the playoffs? Like, I kind of want to go now."
Yep. I had
Like,
a few
it seems
people.
like it's important. I was like, and I kind of explained to them. They're like, "Oh, that's cool." I was like, "Yeah, but it's going to be like 70 degrees, so
I
it's going
am
to be perfect."
so excited to
Beautiful.
go up there and camp in a fucking hoodie.
I'm going to need information from you. A couple of my buddies want to camp now,
Hell yeah.
so I'm like, "You got to go to X lot."
Yeah.
But I'm like, I have no idea who you have to kill to get in there.
I mean, we got in 2
I'm like,
years
we
ago,
know
no
a guy
problem.
that knows a guy, so
Yep.
we might be able to get you in.
Well, she's a
but-
girl, so.
Yeah, Robin.
well, I know Dan who knows.
But I'm so
Oh,
excited.
he's the guy that knows a
He's
girl.
my guy that knows the guys.
Like, if
That's
things-
me, and then I know the girl.
I know Robin.
I'm just having fun.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's
I
that?
met David.
Just zip it.
But
It's just-
but what if we
September 21st, so that's like late September. The odds of this being a one generator, no AC, windows open kind of weekend. It's, I'm
yeah,
so
which
excited.
is what almost 2 weeks later than it used to be.
It used to be early because it was
Yeah.
the first race of the playoffs
Yeah.
for a long time.
Well, I remember in 01, it was September 11th. It was that
yeah,
weekend, so it was the 1.5 weeks into
it's
September.
always been like
Now we're 3
early
weeks
September
in.
when we had the fall race. So now it's gonna be a couple weeks later. I mean, we're talking sunset at like fucking 6 o'clock. Hoodie.
Yeah, this better be a freaking 12 o'clock start. I'm telling you that right
it
now.
lands on Kevin Miller's wedding anniversary.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Happy anniversary.
We're talking hoodie laps in the campground.
You done good, Kev.
I mean, that's early morning wake up tailgate in a hoodie. Like I have pictures of me and Ed at the September race tailgating in like hoodies because it was chilly in the morning, and then it slowly warms up to.
You know what I'm thinking about
70
right
degrees.
now? When we go to the Media Day Challenge, the crazy hot chocolate concoction they're going to come up with for this race.
Facts.
Maybe they'll actually bring it this time.
Think of the apple cider donut maple concoction they could come up with for fall. Oh.
This will be the first time we're camping at a track that we can just open the windows at night.
That's what I'm saying. I'm so excited for that. Like,
You're sick.
yeah, last year we froze the camper. You guys weren't there. Friday night.
I was.
No, Thursday night. We tried out the dry setting on the air conditioner because it was humid as fuck. So we're thinking, oh, we'll dry it out in here. I didn't realize that meant the AC just runs constantly, never shuts off.
No, Jesus.
We woke up Friday morning, it was 58 in the camper.
That is ideal.
Dude, no. I stuck my foot out from under the blanket. I was like, nope. It was fucking freezing.
I'm going
there.
outside.
It was freezing.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Also, Talladega has moved to the semi-finals, if you will, the round of 8,
That's a
which is
mess.
wild.
I don't hate it. Once, like, somebody was talking about it. I think it was Dale Jr. And he kind of made it make sense
NASCAR Jesus.
because it's later in the playoffs. It's less likely a wild card winner affects the playoffs, which I kind of thought made sense.
Yeah.
Because you got to think they put Talladega in the round of 16, and Harrison Burton goes out there and wins. Well, he's now in the round of 12, and that just kind of like he should not be there.
True.
They put it later and later. Harrison Burton wins Talladega. That has no effect on the playoffs.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I kind of like that, given it hasn't been a wild card yet, and we've had Daytona and Atlanta in the playoffs before. Or is this the first time?
This is the first
Atlanta?
year for Atlanta.
It hasn't really affected the playoffs all that much in the past, but
Dale
it
Jr.
is
would like
another
to-
wild card.
Dale Jr. would like to remind you of when Kevin Harvick fucked him all over.
Yep. Fair.
We lost
lots of changes.
The big thing that sucks is losing Homestead out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Obviously, Watkins Glen and Atlanta are just in this year because of the schedule mix-up, because of the Olympics and all that stuff.
Yep.
They'll be back to their normal outside the playoffs. Those make sense. Losing Homestead in the playoffs, I don't love
The
that.
theory,
Yeah, they're just
the-
taking it out now, so when in 26 it goes back to the championship.
Yeah,
God, I
the
hope
theory
so. I
is
hope
they're
so.
going to lose it for a year so they can get the championship race.
I hope so.
Is like the kind of everyone's hypothesis.
There's
of
some
it.
other
Yeah,
makes-
but that's going to require
of
prying it away from Phoenix's cold, dead hands.
And it sucks because
and they're very dead.
yeah, well, no, but the problem is they
No, it's
still
not. That
sell
place sells
fucking-
out. Yeah,
They
every
sell it
time.
out every time, and that's why we keep going
They
back.
sell it out early and every single time.
Yeah, no matter how bad the racing is.
Yeah, the people turn out there like you wouldn't believe.
To be fair, though, I feel
be
like
fair.
you could put the championship race anywhere and it would sell out.
Yeah, you
it
can put
didn't,
it at a dog
didn't sell out at Miami for a while.
Well, currently, current day.
Yeah, hopefully.
There was a few other changes. Like I said, Homestead's now in the spring. Poconos moved to June, so we're gonna have a big old break between our races.
Which is kind of nice.
It's nice, but I also don't like it. I was thinking about
Yeah,
that
I
the
get
other
the-
day.
I get
was
your
like,
Yeah, well, we can fill that in with some more races.
Pocono
now.
is also now like Loudon was this year on summer solstice weekend, so we have the most daylight.
Hell yeah.
It is going to be. I'm hoping it doesn't rain because I feel like June in the Northeast is rainy-ish season. So.
We'll
Yeah,
see.
I think NASCAR has proven no matter where you go, any time of the year, it's rainy season.
It is going to rain at Phoenix championship race
Probably
in the desert, probably.
Probably
We'll see.
it'll rain at Bowman Gray in January.
That would be a blessing to be.
Probably, honestly, yeah.
Yeah,
Although
probably.
I want to see like track dryers out there blowing snow off the track. I think that'd be hilarious.
It's Bowman Gray. They won't actually have track drives. It'll be like Star. They're gonna be like, we're driving the track. Everyone, get your street cars out here. We're gonna run laps, get some heat in the track.
Just like half the fans out there with dust or brooms.
We did that at Star for the Howler. Remember our practice? It rained, and they're like, all right, the Howler cars, you can come out and run laps. Just don't hit each other. And we were just running laps, like practice laps, to dry the track.
Yeah.
It was the only way to get heat in the track.
Brilliant. So yeah, lots of changes. Looking forward to it. We'll see how it shakes out as we usually
I'm
do.
excited. After this weekend, I kind of wish Darlington was the cutoff race again because I thought it wasn't going to be nearly as good as Daytona.
You were wrong.
As good as the Daytona ones have been, easily.
All right. The award ceremony
Yes,
is being moved
this year.
to
Charlotte.
smart move.
So
Is
are
it,
they
though?
still going to do any sort of like Broadway event?
Probably not. They didn't last year. They got rid of the burnouts on Broadway. They got rid of all that shit. They showed up to Nashville last year, had the award ceremony on like a Wednesday night, and then we saw it on TV on Friday night. And it's the same thing. I saw Bob posted that it's going to be broadcasted on, I think, the CW like 2 days after it happens. Which I don't like that.
Yeah,
I hate that.
Well, these had the burnouts on Broadway, and this was live, and that was live, and it was a lot of fun. And now it's just like, man,
Dude,
you got to
the burnouts
replay.
on Broadway were awesome when they'd have the drivers come up with Rutledge and was it Kyle Petty?
I think Petty
They had
was up
like
there.
the little booth up there, and the drivers would come. Remember, there was Kyle Busch went out there, was doing burnouts, and whoever was in the booth was like, "Sounds like you still got the Phoenix motor in that," and everybody else had like show car motors and shit.
Yeah.
like that was fun when they're all shit talking each other and
Yeah,
like, there was-
Ganassi goes out there with the underglow.
Yeah.
Chase, Ryan, and I forget who the third car was. Did like, oh no, Chase and Ryan went nose to nose. All the Penske cars did like a
Yeah.
triangle.
Like that was cool, and I hate that they got rid of that. And like Nashville was the perfect spot for doing stuff like that. You had Broadway, you had events you could have all weekend or whatever the whole time they're there.
Well, hopefully
I
them doing
like-
it closer to home allows them to do some more fun
I
stuff.
like that it's at the Hall of Fame. They're doing it in that big like event center in the Hall of Fame. from
As
what
they
I read.
should. It's
Yeah.
their home.
So that's cool. I just wish there was more around it. Like make it a couple day event.
You know, it'd be kind of cool. I know it wouldn't really get a huge fan turnout, but it's an idea. Is have like in the planning behind this would be impossible, but have the event at the championship winner's hometown.
That'd be cool.
So like Chase wins the championship, it's in freaking
They
Dawsonville.
inundate Dawsonville.
Oh,
Kyle
God.
Larson wins the championship, it's out in California.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Like that'd be
actually.
kind of cool. I know
That's
it
a good
wouldn't-
idea.
It wouldn't bring out like huge crowds, but you have like 3 weeks to plan it.
It's cool. Like I remember when Chase won. Remember he drove through Dawsonville and was
Yeah.
doing burnouts in the street.
Yeah, it was like
and
his
stuff.
first time ever actually
Yeah.
driving through town.
Usually flies through.
Yeah.
So yeah, it should be exciting. We'll see. Other news.
Not much.
The other big bit of news that we got, if we officially know who's going to be driving the number 16 Xfinity car for Kaulig Racing, we learned that officially Christian Eckes has put pen to paper and will be joining Kaulig Racing for 2025 season,
He's earned it.
vacating that number 19 truck.
He's earned it. I feel like every race it's him. Like
Yeah.
he's
It's
either-
Corey Heimer, Christian Eckes.
It's either
every time.
Yeah, every time all year. It's been the two of them back and forth. So I mean, he's earned it. 100%.
Absolutely, 100%.
Maybe earned a better ride than Kaulig, but we'll take it.
Yeah, that's kind of their
Kaulig-
flagship
yeah,
car, so hopefully they
Kaulig
can figure it
has
out. But
a chance to be good. They've kind of squandered it in the past
Yeah.
couple of years. So hopefully with some young talent in there, it's
So
kind
who do
of
we got
brings
now
the team back up.
for Kaulig? It's
Daniel
Josh,
Dye,
and
Eckes, and Josh
Yep.
Williams.
Okay.
yep,
Yep.
young group.
Yep. Well, Josh is the elder statesman there.
I'm just glad he's still there.
Same.
I'm glad
Yeah.
he got another shot at this. Obviously, AJ's going to Cup.
Yep.
We're assuming Daniel Hemrick is staying, but that's not guaranteed. There's been rumors that Ty Dillon would be in the other colleague Cup car.
that's swap a peg out with a different peg.
Yeah,
that's not
that's
going to
just-
perform.
Swapping out a guy with one win and a championship to a guy with no wins and a bunch of money.
Yep.
So it could go either way.
Yep.
Kind
We'll
of
see.
nailed that one.
That's all I have written down for important news to touch on. You guys got anything else you want to add to it?
That's pretty. I didn't. We were sitting here before the show trying to come up with news, and we couldn't
That's-
find any. Unless
that's
we, I
kinda
don't
the
think
other-
we missed anything.
That's the major stuff. So shall we get into ye old Darlington?
Yes.
It is old.
Darlington Raceway. We have the Sport Clips Haircuts VFW Help a Hero 200.
That was a name.
Yeah. I love what they're doing.
I don't love what they're doing.
In terms of,
Yeah.
their donations to the VFW and all that stuff. And it's a great partnership for our veterans and stuff like that. But God damn it, pick a better name. Jesus
How many
Christ.
Xfinity races this year have we had that are an entire mouthful?
I listened to a lot of it on MRN because I was working out in the garage and stuff like that. They nailed the name every time, and I barely got through it just now.
Yeah.
Sport Clips, Haircuts, VFW, Help a Hero 200. It doesn't even
It
flow.
doesn't even roll off the tongue. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, good Lord. Anyway, that was the Xfinity race on Saturday. Great show they put on, if you will. A lot of interlopers in this one.
Yeah, there was a lot of Cup guys in this one. We had, Chase, Seabell. Who else was in there? I saw a couple. Noah.
Chastain was in it.
Chastain.
Noah was in it.
Logano.
Yeah, Logano was in it for a little bit.
Yep. Who else? Was that it? Yeah, I guess that was it. Oh, yeah, Logano was in it for like 5 seconds.
Was the 88 in it?
Yeah, 88 was in it.
Quapple.
I think that's it for interlopers. But anyway, Christopher Bell led the field to green alongside Norm's boy, Mr. Sheldon Creed. Joey Logano, which we just talked about, did not make it very far, a whopping 12 laps in that AM racing machine. Explodes again.
He got in the wall, and they're like, "Oh, he's got a tire down. He's got a tire down." And then you realize the smoke is coming out the pipes, not the fenders.
Yeah, that team. Wow. Sheesh.
Guess Haley was the problem, right?
Yeah, she was totally the problem. Totally should have fired her.
Yep.
Isn't that the second motor in 3 weeks?
Something like that, yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, but how many DNFs did she have from motors and not wrecks? I don't think many.
Yeah. Does it matter?
They can
it's-
rebuild a motor. You can't rebuild a race
The thing
car.
is, though, it's not like all these other guys are getting in that 15 car and outrunning what
Yeah.
she did. They're not. They're doing
minus-
exactly what she did.
I think Joey did good Joey or Josh did good the first couple races.
Yeah.
And then it has kind of plateaued from there. But I mean, they had freaking, who was it?
Dawson was Dawson Cram? No.
James Dean or something in it last week.
Oh God, what was his name? Help, Dean. He's right. You're right on the Dean part. I just don't remember the first name.
Scott Dean.
Nope, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, whatever that kid's name was.
Dean
now.
Winchester. I don't know.
Something. Yeah.
But
Dean Thompson.
Dean Thompson. No, that's not it.
Okay,
James Dean. I think.
James. Whatever.
That's a drifter.
No, he's dead.
no, he's dead. That's an actor that
Yeah,
died.
R.I.P. dude, little bastard. That car's cursed. Look it up. But yeah, they haven't done much, but it's been motor failures lately.
Yeah. So who do we got? Gus Dean.
Gus
Dean.
Dean.
That was close.
Yep.
It's James Dean's little brother.
So, yeah. Deegan was out week 17 after Nashville. And then Logano got in it for Charlotte Road, finished 8th.
You mean Chicago?
Yeah, sorry, Chicago.
That race already happened. We
And
missed it.
then Josh Berry ran the next two, finished 27th and 38th. Then Lawless Allen ran at, I think it was Michigan, finished 35th. Gus Dean ran at Daytona 36th. Darlington 36th.
Doing phenomenal.
Yep.
Harrison Burton's going to turn that program around. I'll tell you what.
So they have two finishes since Haley left above 35th.
Yep.
Yep. Of the last 1, 2, 3. Of the last 6, they finished above 35th twice.
When she left, and there was all the shit coming out about like when Joey got in the car and had to explain to the crew chief how to make it turn. Starting to think they were onto something there. That maybe that was the problem.
Well, it's a different crew chief. Remember, they fired the other one?
True. But still, the whole team seemed very dysfunctional when all that shit
Yeah, they're
was coming
doing
out.
doing great stuff over there. They're learning a lot.
Yep.
How to build a motor is where they're going to start, apparently. But anyway, also we had Riley Herbst out real early there. Was it 15 laps in, something like
Yeah,
that?
just buried the wall.
Yeah.
Must have had an issue.
He smoked it too.
Yeah. Also, Sam Mayer from the lead, only about 40 laps in before the end of the first stage.
Looked like he said something, maybe the track bar.
Yeah, I think
Broke.
I'm thinking he thought that initially, but I'm guessing he cut down a right rear. Probably got into the wall.
And then he got down in the apron and ended up going for a spin. They did stay green.
He tried to
kept it
Carson
going. But
Savard, I think.
Also,
Yeah.
shouts to, with all these cars getting into the wall. Did you guys see the pre-race? Was it Snyder with the quarter panel? And the,
Oh, yeah, all
dead blow.
Yeah.
So you're
That
gonna
was
see
so
this.
dumb, but
It's-
so funny.
You see this, it's going to do a lot of this. And he smacks it against the wall and drags it down the wall. And the
Yeah.
guy that has to paint the walls just sitting there looking at him like, bruh.
And whose brand new fender are they using to
yeah.
just wreck?
Yeah. Oh, so good.
It was so dumb.
He's like, as they say, they call it a soft wall, but it's definitely not soft. And he takes the dead blow and just smacks the wall. And he's like, see this quarter panel? Gonna do a lot of this tonight.
So cheesy.
It was great, though. I loved it.
I would have rather have seen like some kid with a Matchbox car and just like, this is what's going to happen. Smash, smash, smash. It would have cost a lot less. too.
Terrible. Christopher Bell, the interloper in the 20 car, wins the first stage.
So I think I heard that Denny Hamlin normally races this race, and I think he was supposed to be in the 20
Oh.
because somebody kept referring to it
usually
as
does
the
do
race
this.
Denny's supposed to be in.
Yeah, he usually does do this race. You're right.
So I don't know if it was just he just decided not to do it, and they
accord-
put Christopher Bell in, or if this was planned.
According to the YouTube chat, Jess Coleman, Dale Jr. said Marty owes him a quarter panel. So it came from Junior Motorsports. I didn't see that.
That's awesome. You owe me a quarter.
You know that they were just walking up and down pit road like, hey, Dale, we borrow this for a second?
Was he there?
I'm sure they called him.
Yeah, probably. So yeah, and then what else we got? We got second stage. Sheldon Creed winning the second stage. Norm's boy there.
It's his week.
It was.
Was it?
Until it wasn't. And then let's get to the end of the race. Sheldon Creed finally gets around Christopher Bell at like 138,
Like nine to go.
139, something like that.
Yep.
And he checks out.
They even said it on the broadcast.
Reeled him in, got around him.
He was gone.
Checks out, plenty of space. And then the dinger has something to say about it.
AJ gets up in the fence, gets off the fence, is still driving. I think he thought it was okay. Sails it off into the corner. It wasn't okay. You just see a shower of sparks behind the
Wallops
car.
the wall.
Blows the right front. I'm assuming
Yep.
it wasn't already blown or something broke, but it looked like the right front went down. He went from the bottom to the top real fast, and he fucking smokes the wall.
I'll give NASCAR some credit. They definitely tried to hold it as long as they could, and then he just wallops the wall. You're like, all right, never mind.
That second hit, and Norm even did it while we watched the highlights here because they didn't catch it originally on the broadcast. They just showed Dinger going really slow, and the caution comes out. It was much like, what was that, Michigan with the Sieg flip. You're like, what is the caution for? And then they show the replay. Oh.
Oh, that's
what it was.
Yeah. The last thing Sheldon Creed needed to see before potentially getting his first career Xfinity Series victory.
I wasn't watching this live, but I was seeing our Discord blow up about Creed, and they're like, he's going to do it. I think it's his day. He's finally going to do it. And I flipped the stream on my phone, and I'm like, why are they under caution? I'm like, oh, no. It happened again.
Then we unfortunately get a overtime restart. What happens, Norm?
Pretty much.
Well, Creed got beat out of pit road.
They race, and then one of the guys beats the other guy up. So the 20, the 00 take off. 20 had the lead off pit road. The 00 was right next to
Not
the
a great
inside.
pit stop by the 18 team.
18 lost 2 spots in pit road. Cole Custer's team gained him like 4 spots on pit road. That was pretty nutty. But
that
the
team is great.
Yeah, the 20 and 00 take off. Side by side, off 2. Cole is right on his door. I mean, it's going to be a hell of a race into 3 where the inside can actually do something.
Yep.
And I don't know if Seabell thought he was pinching him, if Cole actually did pinch him, but Seabell just turns hard left off the wall and chases Cole damn near to the inside wall.
Yeah.
Cole has him sideways.
5 lanes down-ish.
Cole has him sideways, and I think Cole lifted or luck of the draw there because Seabell was not in control of that race car halfway down the back straightaway.
Yeah.
And somehow they both collected it, came flying back up onto the track.
Just in
Thank
time
God
to turn.
Darlington is paved to the freaking equator. And they come flying back up onto the track just in time for turn 3, and they somehow clear the 18.
I thought,
which I'm thinking whoever was to his inside side drafted the shit out of him because it looks like he lost a bunch of speed by the end of the backstretch. They cleared the 18 and they kept on a trucking. And unfortunately for Cole, the 20 got out front.
He was
and
gone.
Just kind of kept him 3 car lengths behind and just cleared him to the win.
Yep. So Christopher Bell takes the checkered flag, followed by Cole Custer. Sheldon Creed brings it home third. Chase Elliott, Sammy Smith, your top 5. Jesse Love, SVG, Chandler Smith, Austin Hill, and Justin Allgaier. SVG from 26th up to 7th.
Can we talk about his 2 races at Darlington this year? What did he finish, like 11th or 12th in the spring?
Yeah,
something like
just
that.
Just outside the top 10 in the spring, and then 7th. I mean, you're talking a guy who has limited oval experience still. I mean, it's his first year, and he comes to the hardest oval and has 2 great finishes.
We see this a lot with the Xfinity Series. I mean, we see it a lot with the Cup Series, but it's usually the crew chiefs, their second time at a track, they have a notebook built up so they can actually use it. For SVG, it's literally just the experience of racing a track twice.
Yep.
That is massive, and I think that's why they saw already that he's ready for Cup.
Yep.
Because he just improves so quickly from one event to the next that it shows how much he learns and absorbs, and he can put forth in the next race there.
Yep.
And I think we're going to see this a lot in the playoffs. I think he's going to go deeper into the playoffs than a lot of people are expecting because he's able to adapt so quickly and learn from his previous races and use it. And I mean, he can 11th place his way into the round of 8. No problem.
And that's the thing too, is you look back at the other, guys from other places, the Juan Pablos, the Marcus Ambrose, like they were good at road courses. You knew you'd go to a road course and you'd be like, uh-oh, watch out for those guys. They weren't doing what he's doing at ovals, especially not in their first year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you never saw Ambrose and top 10ing through all these ovals. Or
he's also the first one we've seen get put in top tier equipment.
True. Also helps. That does help a lot.
Trackhouse in the Cup Series, I mean, they're down. They're like a B+ level team at this point. They're not quite the best cars on the track, but they're right there.
Yep.
Xfinity, obviously, Colleague has been struggling, but that car gets a lot of help. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's in a much better spot than Marcus Ambrose with Richard Petty.
Yep.
He's in a lot better spot than Juan Pablo with Chip Ganassi, which they were kind of always an uphill battle, Chip
Yep.
Ganassi.
Yep.
So, I mean, he's in the best position possible out of the few ringers that we've had go full time. So I'm super excited.
Yep, I'm very excited for the rest of this year. I want to see what he does in the playoffs and for next year.
Absolutely. Agree wholeheartedly. Cool.
Yep.
About it.
Seabell won.
Keep digging.
Shocker.
Actually, let's talk about the whole Sheldon Creed thing after the fact. A lot of people talking about it. Sheldon Creed mentioning that he's not getting paid $1 this season.
Yeah, he's all performance-based, right?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are up in arms about it. Like, how is he not getting paid? He's not making any money. I don't think a lot of people understand how many Xfinity drivers are buying their rides.
Yeah.
A lot of times, well, a ton of drivers in the field are buying their rides, whether it be with family money, sponsor money, whatever. So let's say Norm is buying his ride in Xfinity. He's got a whole bunch of sponsors, Dan.com and
Brondo Energy.
Kyle.com,
It's got what Plants Crave. It's got
whatever.
electrolytes.
We're giving Norm $5 million.
Yeah.
He could take that $5 million to Joe Gibbs Racing and say, I want to drive the X number car, whatever. $5 million's the budget. Whether that makes the whole season, that makes 18 races,
Right.
whatever.
Say you have $5 million. And you
wasn't
can
done.
go and you can go to Joe Gibbs and spend $4,500 or 44.5. You keep the other 5 for your paycheck. He has to give them everything.
Right. There's different kind of programs too.
Yeah.
You use 100% of that budget, you get obviously the best shit we possibly can. If you use 90% of that budget, you keep 10% for yourself to live. You get the B plus program or whatever the case is. And some drivers are purely performance based, only get paid on top 5s or only get paid on top 10s or whatever. So that's not uncommon at all.
It's
It's not uncommon for them to speak it out loud.
I just think people are so, you're used to sports. Everybody's getting paid. Even
Right.
the bench warmers in the NBA are still getting $750,000 a year or whatever. Same with like NHL. Fourth liners in the NHL, the league minimum I think is $750,000.
Correct.
Like if you're playing in the NHL, you're making $750,000
minimum.
minimum.
Correct.
The only other thing this even remotely compares to is pro golf.
Mhm.
You show up to a tournament, you don't make the cut, you get nothing.
Yep.
You
exactly.
get nothing if you don't make the weekend.
They're technically independent contractors.
They are. Yeah.
So yeah, his sounds like his entire budget is going to the team to get him the best program possible. I don't know how it's even possible for him to not have a clause of top 5 performance payouts.
Right. It's Joe
gotta
Gibbs,
think,
so it's
too-
got to be wins only.
I would think. I mean, he's not doing commercials and shit. Like, is he getting money from sponsors? Maybe like
Sounds like he's putting every single
endorsements?
penny into it.
Yeah, I don't know. if he's
I haven't seen him do any endorsement deals on anything.
you know what I'm saying? I don't see him in commercials for anything or anything.
Yeah,
So it's
if
not
that
like
was the
he's-
case, I'm sure that's going into his pocket because
Right,
it's
but
him.
his
Yeah.
sponsors aren't really commercial sponsors.
they're not
Right.
He's got a foundation on the car, which I'm sure it's go to children's hospitals and toy drives and stuff like that. But it's not like
because that's how
it's not like Celsius, where it's like we're going to stick you in 48 commercials.
because that's how like my previous thing with golfers. A lot of them have they'll do commercials for fucking Goldman Sachs or Titleist or whatever, and they'll get paid for their endorsement deal.
Yeah,
you
like
know?
the whole Caitlin Clark thing when she went
Yes.
professional. I was like, she's only making how much? Like, yeah, but she also has a $10 million deal with Nike.
Exactly.
So, it's not uncommon. A lot of people are up in arms about it. So I just wanted to kind of mention that it's not uncommon for people to basically, as Matty D said, it's a very common phrase now, the betting on themselves kind of thing.
Yeah. It
I'd
is-
be really surprised to see he has a clause that's wins only. You don't make $1 if you don't
especially
win.
a guy that's never won.
Yeah,
Right, but it's Joe
top
Gibbs.
top 3, top 5. But
they hold themselves to that high of a standard.
true.
And like you got to look at the car Ryan Truex is in. If that car goes out there and doesn't win, that looks bad for the 20 car.
Yep.
Because you expect it. Like look at when Ty Gibbs was running half a year. That thing had freaking win stickers down to the freaking gas
That's
door.
it. You're right.
Like that car is expected to win every
The
single
All-Star
race.
car. Yeah.
So it's I don't know
See
how
Bells
you could do that.
batting
With,
1,000.
yeah, I don't know if you could do that with a full-time car.
It's 2 weeks in a row for that car.
Yeah.
But that 20 car, which used to be the 54 car before Ty,
Yep.
that is the all-star car. That is, you put Denny Hamlin in it, you put Christopher Bell in it, and Truex.
Yep.
Who was it last year? Trevor Bayne.
Yep.
You put these
Bain
guys in
train.
it, and they need to win in it. I'm surprised he has a winning-only contract in a full-time car.
If he does.
That seems Yeah, I mean, if he's saying he's not getting paid and he's got more second place finishes
True.
than anybody, that means he needs to win to get paid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what Kyle said is perfect. It's not uncommon, but it is uncommon for us to hear about it.
Right.
Right. That's I
Right.
think why
It
everybody's
is
like,
uncommon.
"Whoa."
It is uncommon, like Norman just said, that a full-time driver has a win-only.
Right, because
clause.
Corey LaJoy has talked about it. They have performance-based initiatives at Spire, and it's like top 15s, top 10s.
Get a bonus.
That's,
Going today.
That looks good for you and that team.
Boom.
But Joe Gibbs just
Carter Ruffley.
holds themselves to such a high standard,
Yep.
Yeah.
almost unrealistically high,
Yeah.
that it's like, if you're going to drive my car, you better win in it.
Yeah.
That's insane to
That
me. It
is-
should be, obviously the team gets paid if he finishes second.
Yep.
You know, there's a purse money for second place. You should get a cut of a top 5,
Yeah.
or if you want to go even more ridiculous, top 3 only you get paid. Fine.
Yeah.
A win-only clause for a full-time driver
Right,
is
and-
nuts.
I mean, he could have not been exactly literal with
Because
what he
even
was
if
saying.
even if you have a
He,
great
I
think about
kind
it.
of trust him.
Even if you have an excellent year, you're winning what? 3 or 4 times? We could
If that,
consider
yeah.
that like an excellent year.
That's a huge year.
It's a huge year. If you have a win-only contract, you might get paid once or twice.
Nuts. That's a lot.
That's all.
It's a big bet.
What's
No wonder he's
what's
leaving.
Sheldon's wife do for work? She's the one putting groceries on the table, apparently. Oh, you're going to do that racing thing again? Bring nothing home? All right, sweetheart.
He actually
Enjoy your
lives in the
little
hauler.
hobby.
Yeah. Enjoy your little hobby that you don't get paid for, like us with this stupid podcast.
He actually lives in the hauler.
Yeah.
He stays in the car and just goes back.
They get
He
back.
makes more money going and running Robbie Gordon's trophy trucks than he does racing in
The
the
hauler
Xfinity
gets
Series
back
full
Sunday
time.
morning. They're like banging on the side of it. Sheldon, you're home. Wake up.
He's got the days. He's got the Days of Thunder hauler with
Yes!
the bed in the front and stuff.
Sheldon, we got to unload the car. Get out of the way.
No, it's just one of those
State troopers
hammocks.
are here, Sheldon.
It's just a hammock held that's hung from
know,
the
when
second floor, so he's just swinging along the windshield.
You know when Joe Gibbs, when they post the videos of the haulers getting back, you see the gate drop on on his car's hauler, and there's just him laying on the floor behind the car. Oh shit! Sorry.
No, he's
Sorry,
just in
guys,
one of those
sorry.
camping
Yeah,
hammocks.
yeah. Sorry guys. Sorry.
Sheldon, you cannot wreck in practice. Why? Because we put your bed where the backup car goes.
We didn't bring a backup car because you wanted a bed this week.
You just hear, what was that? Sheldon's air mattress.
Yeah, Sheldon's deflating his air mattress. He's got to go. He's got to go.
He's
home.
rolling it up.
Once
Where
they-
do you
once they-
want me?
Once they get everything out for the weekend, he's like, "Wow, look at all this room I have for the rest of the week."
He just walks out of the hauler and he's got one of those like big camping rucksacks on the back.
So can I use the
Where are you
TV
going? To the
this
showers?
week?
Yeah, you
Nope,
walk-
you didn't win.
The guys show up for work on Tuesday, and there's Sheldon walking around in a bathrobe. Like, I just already hit the shower. I'm ready to go for the day. Walks into the hauler. You hear like
Thumbing for rides on the way
you hear
out.
the blow dryer going.
He's
and
in the pressure wash bay where they clean the cars. in a
Come get my back.
in a horse trough.
He's out in the pit practice with the blowgun drying off. Oh yeah, that's better. Sheldon, you
Let's get the shower caddy coming out of the Pocono showers.
It's in one of the pit boxes. You just open one of the doors in the pit boxes, and there's just all
You-
this
you just-
all of
stuff.
his bathroom shit.
You just hear the wet crock noise. Who's that? It's Sheldon making his
Sheldon.
way back from the showers. Oh, we laugh because we love him.
Yep.
Sounds like he's off to better
Looking
pastures
forward
next year.
to his run next year.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to being able to cheer for the team that he's
Also-
racing for.
We've said this before. I'll say it again. Win the goddamn championship and never win a race. It would be hilarious.
Yes. Be funnier than him.
Go to Phoenix, finish fucking second, like you always do, and win the championship, and I will laugh.
Yep.
Be amazing.
That would be so.
Just
funny.
do it next year.
No, do it this year. I don't give a shit. Next year, he's going to win 5 races.
That would be like
Be awesome.
That. Oh my god! Think of the people that would. All the people that hate this playoff format. Dude, that would be pouring gas on a bonfire.
Be amazing.
Like the Hemrick one was bad enough. Guys never won a race, gets to the Final Four, wins his one and only race ever, and wins a championship.
Yeah, but that would prove the opposite. Like it would be like this guy didn't win, and when
That's a
winning
good
is
point.
the
Actually,
only
yeah.
thing that matters,
That's
this guy consistency did them to death.
That's actually a good point because was it? Oh, who did it in Cup that year?
Newman.
Newman made it to the Final Four and hadn't won a race. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Do it next year, Sheldon, because Cole Custer's going for 2 for 2.
Cold custard.
He ain't getting cold this year.
All right, let's get into it. the Cookout Southern 500.
Jared, I don't think it. Oh wait, maybe it did in trucks. He said, but winning a championship without winning a race has already happened, didn't it? He says I could have swore Crafton had a title with no wins.
Crap,
Correct.
Almost did. I don't think.
I thought he did.
I thought he almost did.
I don't know. I don't remember enough about trucks. I try not to think about trucks too much.
Oh, I think did it? No, Austin Dillon did it in trucks.
That makes sense. He can't even win a race.
You'll
when
say
his
him not
grandfather
winning. That
wins
makes
it.
sense. Yeah.
2013 Xfinity Series, the only one who's been able to clinch the title without winning a single race throughout the season.
Oh.
Yep. Gross. And then I lost the article with the giant pop-up ad. Anyway,
I'm looking at
Southern 500.
Yeah, Crafton won the championship in 13 with a win. He won it in 14 with a win. And yeah, I think he won. I don't remember the other year he won, but yes, I think he's won all of his championships. So yeah, it must have been Dillon.
Yep, 2013. All right, Bubba Wallace and Carson Hocevar leading the field to green on the front row.
Crafton almost did it in 2019. Sorry. Made a second ever championship 4 in 2019. He finished second to Austin Hill, 2 spots ahead of Ross Chastain. Oh, no, he did do it. Although Crafton won no races throughout 2019, made his second ever championship 4 appearance. He finished second at Homestead to Austin Hill, 2 spots ahead of Ross Chastain to claim his 3rd Truck Series championship. So Crafton did it in 19 as well in the trucks.
I thought he almost did, but yeah, good for him.
All right, sorry. I just wanted to make sure we had the record straight on that one.
Yep.
And I was still looking at it, so.
Yeah, so Bubba and Carson Hocevar lead the field to green.
Talk about Bubba's qualifying lap, both
Yeah.
of them. How he
Yeah.
damn near wrecked that car in the first round and then goes out and
Put on a show.
put his balls on the table on that second one. That was nuts.
Yeah. Great runs for both of them. Yeah, we don't make it too far into the race before we have the first incident.
Can we not talk about it?
And then we don't have one for a very long
Can we
time.
not talk about the first
We're going to talk about the first one. What happened, Dan?
lap 3? They go off into 1. And
2.
I thought it was the start of lap 3. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it depends what the leader was, I suppose.
True.
I think they were on 2.
Whatever.
Doesn't matter.
Truex goes into the corner. He sees some daylight beneath William Byron, which, I mean, in a mistake that you expect to see out of a young guy, not the oldest guy in the field who's raced here, 30 times probably,
Yeah.
and knows better. Southern 500 is a long race. You got to be in it at the end to do anything. And on the second or third lap, you make a Hail Mary move down to the bottom. He loses the nose, skates up the hill, almost gets into Byron, and then just loops it. And he got sideways, and he didn't fully spin out. It looks like he did the old next-gen overcorrect, snapped right back up the hill, and Ryan Blaney was just sitting there doing nothing and just gets
Getting collected.
absolutely smoked by Truex.
Yeah, and he owned it right away.
Oh, yeah, that was the best. His interview, I mean, to hear him, I love how they weren't sure who he was talking about.
I'm an
It was
idiot.
Kim Kuhn. No, they were like, he was like, well, that was really stupid. And he was thinking it was Kim Kuhn was like, well, who was? He goes, me. I
Yeah.
am. I'm an idiot.
Well,
I shouldn't have,
didn't he say I'm an idiot on the radio? Like, didn't they cue
Oh,
him
I
up on the
didn't-
radio?
I didn't-
I'm pretty sure I heard it on
I
the
didn't hear
broadcast.
that, but
I'm an idiot.
his interview post or his, post care
Maybe
center
that's what I'm
interview
confusing it with. Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
they were like,
Oh, he owned it.
He said
100%.
something like that was stupid. And Kim Kuhn was kind of like thinking maybe he was going to blame Byron. She's like, well, what was stupid? And he goes, it was me. I was stupid. I shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have made that move. I hate it for my guys. I hate it for all the guys that work hard. Because he was, I mean, Norm said it in Discord yesterday. I didn't even think Truex was remotely close to not making the playoffs. And then all of a sudden, he's 6 points to the good?
Yeah, that got close.
That got real close real fast.
Yeah. Yeah. The tale of 2 drivers for the 19 car, huh?
Yeah.
If you think of it that way.
Yeah. Good call, actually. Good point. Good call.
But yeah, after
Just
that,
not the move you'd expect to see from like the elder statesman of the field.
Not at all.
Especially in a race like this where you know how long and how grueling this race is. And I feel so bad for Blaney, whether I picked him or not, which technically I cursed him, I guess.
yeah,
But
we got confirmation that he said, I'm an
see
idiot on the
that.
comps.
Yep.
Yeah.
My curse lives on, but man, you're not even, the fucking tires aren't even warm yet.
Yeah,
And you just
just
get
stupid.
smoked. And he got out shaking his wrist. They asked him on TV if he was okay. He said, yeah, he's fine, but that's something to keep an eye on maybe, But just cruising along, doing your own thing. And he said he expected Truex to spin to the bottom, so he just kept his foot in it. The cars are supposed to be gone when you get there. right? Days of Thunder.
Yeah.
And then Truex just whoop right back up the track and just
God.
absolutely
Nowhere to
smokes
go
him.
for Blaney.
Yep.
Yeah. Tough. But after that, we have no incidents for quite a while. We stay green for a long time.
This race hauled ass. I mean, the Southern 500 is usually a 4.5, damn near 4.5, 5 hour race, depending on what happens. And I looked up at one point in the middle of stage 2, and I was like, I feel like I just turned this race on.
Yeah. Flying by.
It was, it was when you got a guy out front like Larson. I mean, he just, like I said, I think a couple times on Discord last night, it was going to take either a mistake by his pit crew, a mistake by him, or like what we had at the end, a string of cautions. If none of that happens, I mean, his pit crew all night was like 8.8, 9.2s, 9 flats.
Putting on an
I
absolute
think
show.
the slowest stop I saw from him was like a 9.6,
I think he made a 9.9 in the middle
maybe.
when they were adding all the
But
guys.
yeah, he got the lead on the first green flag pit stops because Bubba was running. He was running a really good stage 1.
Yeah, led the first 35
Yeah.
or so, 40, something like
They
that.
come down for the first stop, and Larson beats him out and just never looked back for the next 250 laps or whatever
Yeah.
it was. Yeah,
Larson did win the first stage. Bubba finished second. Briscoe third. Reddick, Bell, Hamlin, Gibbs, Byron, Barry, and Busher, your points getters in the first stage. So early on, we
Can you
start.
list that again?
What?
Can you list that again?
Why?
Byron, Barry, Bell, Busher.
Bubba-da-bubba-da-bubba-da-bubba.
Yeah. And I nailed it too.
Yeah, you did.
Thanks.
I bet you'd nail every single one of those guys.
Wow. Okay.
That was aggressive.
But then we start seeing the storyline of the points as they run. Bubba having 9 points in the first stage was a big get for him.
Massive. I mean,
Yep.
we talked about it last week that's what he had to do. He had to be top 3 in each stage. So he starts off really well. I mean, I thought he instantly went from, 21 to start the race, 22 points down.
Yeah.
Instantly gains 9 points on him with the stage, and then he was running better than Busher. Busher was back half of the top 10, in and out of the top 10 most of the night.
Yeah.
I was like, man, if he holds this up, this
Teetering
is
with like 9th through 13th.
I was like, this is going to get interesting, and then it was just like Bubba said it in his post race. They just didn't stay on top of it. Like, that car was a fucking rocket ship in the first stage.
Yeah.
And then as soon as the second stage started, it was like, okay, now he's running 6th to 7th. Then coming into a pit stop, and then the sun started to go down. And after every pit stop, it was like he was dropping back a couple more spots, and then he just kind of plateaued at like 9th to 12th in that ballpark for the rest of the race. It was like,
Finished 9th in the second stage.
yeah, this is a track where you have to, especially with it transitioning day to night, it's just like the Coke 600. You have to be one step ahead of what the track's doing, or it's going to show itself.
Right. And this is something that they've talked about for years, where it's almost a curse of being the first car. Because when you're in the lead, the crew chief goes, "What do you want?" And you go, "Nothing. The car's freaking perfect. Like, I'm kicking everybody's ass. I'm leading all the laps. I'm doing this car. Don't touch a thing. It's perfect." And the second you get past, it's like, holy shit, it's loose. It's this.
Yeah.
It's that. It's that. It's like, well, when you're up front and you don't want them to change anything, you don't realize how much it affects you until you're behind, and then you're literally behind.
Yep.
Yeah. Larson takes the second stage as well. And also at the end of the second stage, we find out that Martin Truex Jr. has officially clinched his way into the playoffs despite wrecking out early because of total available points for
Basically,
the others
right,
to
I
get.
Busher had to finish better than 9th for that still to be a thing. I think he finished like 11th or 12th. Or no, he got one stage point. I think he finished 10th.
No, not the second stage.
Oh, it was in the first stage. Okay. He finished outside the points in the second stage, and that clinched it for Truex.
Yeah.
And since we're on the subject of clinched, we should bring up the main story of this race outside of the points.
Yes.
You got to
Tyler Reddick had the demons in him.
Dude, I don't know.
We learned probably early stage 1.
Yeah, middle of stage 1.
Yeah. Give or take. No, I think it started like right at the end of stage 1 is when we started hearing it on the broadcast.
Yes, that they were talking about how he was fighting something, had a stomach bug, all this. He comes over the radio and says he's puking and shitting himself. Which
Come to find out he actually didn't, according to him.
Yeah, he came back and said he didn't, which is exactly what someone who did would say.
Yeah, exactly.
All I'm saying
Liar.
is, when he was on pit road talking to his team after the race, no one was standing near him.
That's Kyle. Or you're leaving, so goodbye. That's like us at
Kyle's
Pocono.
gonna
Like
go shit himself.
someone disappears into the blackness when we're at Pocono, or like goes in the camper. Like, you good? No, I'm fine. I wasn't puking. So I mean, whether he did or he didn't, I don't know. Everyone was keeping their distance of him after the race, but he comes over the radio, says that. The internet blows up with memes and jokes. But to stay in that fucking car, I mean, it was hot yesterday. It was hot all weekend. That car had to have been up over 120, 130. I can't even fathom having a stomach bug when I'm on the couch doing nothing.
And it's what, the second, maybe third longest race of the year.
Yeah, easily.
The temperatures, bless his heart, were a little cooler because it was nighttime,
Yeah.
but it was a scorcher of a weekend.
And the pit crew, Brent just brought it up in the YouTube chat. You know, the pit crew's they put together like a care bag for him on I think it was in the end of stage 1 with, you know, some crackers and some bread, and they gave him Tums and some pills.
Yeah, it sounded like they were like dissolving like Advil or something in his cup.
Yeah, well, no.
So his
So
water
originally
bottle.
they gave him the pills, and he comes over the radio and says, the pills are too damn small. I dropped them. He dropped them in the car because obviously he's got his gloves on, and I mean, you're fumbling around you're trying to keep pace speed. So he drops that. He ends up the next pit stop. They took those pills and dissolved them in water. He had Tums. They were giving him crackers and shit like that.
Yeah, poor
And he said
kid.
the medicine worked, but he said he already felt it wearing off. I think it was like end of stage 2. He was like, I need more of whatever you gave me because it helped, and now it's not helping anymore.
An absolute legend.
And we come to find out after the race is over, he drove back home last night from Darlington. You know, most of the drivers just drove there. And he said that his body was basically seized till like 6 a.m. Like he said, he was in
I can't
massive-
imagine how dehydrated he
He
was.
was in massive amounts of pain the entire drive home. And he said till about 6 o'clock this morning, he was like, his body didn't function. And I just, like I said, when you were gone, I got a stomach bug and I'm on the couch and I'm out. Like, don't even talk to me.
Let alone ripping the wall at Darlington.
Like, and he even said it, and you could see it at times during the race. He said it in his post race that it was just hard to focus.
Yeah.
Because you think about you think about if I hit that bump the wrong way, I might throw up in my helmet. Like, I'm not focusing on being 2 inches off the wall.
Yeah.
You know?
Focus on surviving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was only a couple times during the race that I think we really saw traditional Tyler Reddick. He was racing Buescher really hard in that final stage.
Yep.
Obviously, he knows the consequences of
Yep.
Buescher passing him and gaining a point on Bubba. He ran some freaking hard laps against Buescher late in that
I
race.
think it was the start of stage 2, right when we found out about all this stuff. He was up he blew past a bunch of people on the restart and was running in third behind Larson and Briscoe, and he was there most of stage 2.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this is, you know, everyone made the comparison last night with Jordan in attendance. This is his flu game. You know?
Yeah, yeah,
That's pretty much
yeah.
what it was.
I heard that on, and shouts to him because he was saying, "Oh, I didn't get home. I didn't really get to sleep until like 6:30," and he's on, on with Daniel Trout and Larry Mack 3 hours later.
He looked, though, his post race, he did not look good. He looked,
No.
He didn't look, you know when someone's sick, they're like white and they look, he didn't look that bad, but his facial expressions was just like, that was
He
the
was
most
just
miserable
exhausted.
3 hours of my
I
life.
think there was a clip of Michael Jordan going up to him after the race. How you doing, little man?
Yeah. Somebody was
Like, you talking to Bo or me?
Did you see the pictures
Same
of
size.
them, foreshadowing, the pictures of them in victory lane, and Jordan was standing next to Reddick, and I think it was in a group chat I'm in with the Pocono boys. I think Tabarra was like, why is Jordan standing next to a garden gnome?
Yeah,
Because
so
that
funny.
is the difference. Like, he's short and Jordan's huge, so...
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we'll just kind of fast forward to when the chaos starts. Carson Hocevar decides to make this an interesting one.
Yeah, he spins.
Yep.
Just didn't even hit anything. Just spun.
Yep.
Yeah, he had a really promising start, but quickly dropped
Yep.
to like, I mean, I feel like he dropped out like just outside the top 5, but he was like by the end of like stage 1 or halfway through stage 2, he was already in like 20th.
After the first 2 pit stops, he was down in the 20s.
Yeah. And then we get we get back to green. Only a few laps later, we have the Todd Gilliland and Chris Buescher incident.
Suspend him.
I'm kind of with Norm on this one. This one looked a little suspect. Not as obvious as some of the other right hooks we've had recently, but like you had Buescher on the outside. Todd was on the inside. I think Todd pinched him a little
Todd
bit.
used him up.
Todd
hard.
used him up,
But
pinched
that's
him.
my boy Todd for you, dude. He's a fighter.
Thank you. Buescher gets in the fence, and I mean, obviously you hit the fence, the car shoots to the inside. But seeing how pissed Buescher was, I wouldn't be surprised if he just maybe let it happen. Like
Yeah.
didn't try to stop it from shooting to the inside. Hooks Gilliland spins around. He bumps the wall a couple times. Nothing
Yeah,
too bad.
it looked bad, but like I said, Todd has no quit in him. He wasn't going to let a little bit of cosmetic damage ruin his race. He knew he had to go out there and get the job done, and he did.
Yeah.
But yeah, I 100% like looked at that and I was like, huh. In today's day and age, that's frowned upon.
Did you see the onboard of Buescher during when the caution came out? I mean, he was like punching there was no sound, but you could see him screaming in the helmet. Like
Yeah.
he was yelling on the radio, and he was all fucking flustered.
Yeah,
and shit.
because at this point it's real tight between
Yeah.
Busher and Bubba Wallace for that last spot,
Yep.
Barring a new winner. So we go back to green after that. Shortly thereafter, we have yet another Carson Hocevar caution when he crashes in turn 3.
he cut a tire and did the dinger and smoked the wall.
Yeah, absolutely. Get back to green after that. We have another caution that comes out for a decent wreck. Josh Berry tries to take it 3 wide between Denny Hamlin, Ty Gibbs.
I saw
Kind of racing deal here, but
some of the people in our Discord were blaming Denny that he floated up the track. I'm putting that one on Barry because 3 wide at Darlington is
In Barry's defense, I mean, he forced it
He
3
did.
wide off of 4. I mean, he just muscled his way into the middle, but he had a nose ahead of both of them into 1.
yeah.
So technically, they should now
I
like
could
kind of hand that to him because
yeah.
he's the lead car. But that being said, no one's handing anything to anybody these days.
well, and we've talked about on here.
Yeah.
What was it? Daytona was it Hocevar? Or not Daytona, Talladega forced it 3 wide, and it's like you have to
yep.
if the hole's
Indy,
there.
I feel like we had it like twice.
Maybe it
in
was
Indy.
Indy. If the hole's there, you got to take
Yeah.
it. So like Barry's doing what he has to do. Denny drifts up the track, gets into him. He ends up spinning out in front of everybody. I mean, everybody's on the brakes. Who did Bubba get in the back of?
Byron.
Byron hits
Yeah, and
Barry.
then Noah comes in
Yeah,
like a fucking
that's
missile.
what I mean, dude. Like, so, no, Barry spins, Byron hits Barry. Bubba just kind of like bumps Byron. Like, it caved the nose in a little bit, but it wasn't even that bad. Like, the hood wasn't popped up or anything.
It popped the hood up,
Did it?
but enough that a stout jackman or crew
Could
guy
sit on it.
could have suplexed it and
And
fixed
then
it.
it was fucking 5 seconds later. Here comes the 10 car. Leroy Jenkins is way in there and just smashes into the back.
No
of
ARCA
Bubba.
brakes.
No, yeah. Norm didn't like that one last night.
Yeah, that's a stretch and a half of a nickname.
But yeah, Noah just sent her in there and just stoved it into Bubba.
Yeah.
And that thing, I mean, he created a parachute on the back. I mean, at least it was a good square hit, but it crinkled that quarter panel out. They had the concrete saw out there cutting that thing away. Mm-hmm. But it was too late.
Then we have a restart. Chase Briscoe. Wow.
Oh, and before that, Ty Gibbs was in this too. So a lot of us are now going, oh boy, he dropped. Because he had to finish like 27th or better to, no matter what anybody else did, lock in. So when he's in that wreck, everyone's like, oh shit, where's he at? He ended up rolling away from it and he was all right. But for a minute
Yeah,
there,
so
we
the-
were like, oh shit, is this going to be another wrinkle in the playoff?
The entire race we were watching, obviously, the cutoff line between Bubba and Busher.
Yep.
And Ty was always about like 38 points or so above that line, but he was on average running like 4th or 5th. So I looked at this and I was like, he got hit hard in the left rear tire
Yep.
when he spun. I was like, he could go from top 5 to the 30s.
Yep.
And there goes his entire cushion. So if Bubba or Busher ends up in the top 5, they could definitely
Yep.
leapfrog him. Fortunately for him, the damage was not severe.
Yeah, I was questioning it too, and then I saw a replay, and he basically, like, he got hit, but then he rolled away. The car was straight.
When
you
he
know.
slid down the hill, somebody came in and
Uh-huh.
pegged him in the left rear, which I thought was going to be
toe link.
damaging, but it wasn't.
Yeah, and then we get to see the Chase Briscoe Kyle Busch battle.
Well, no, sorry, I interrupted you. You didn't say it. The move that Briscoe put on Larson.
yeah.
Well, before that, it all started with Ross staying out on
Oh, I
old
forgot
tires.
about that.
Yeah,
I forgot
yep.
all about that.
So
Yep.
Ross, fucking bless his little heart.
They
dude.
were playing off strategy all night. If the field went left, he went right. I think they ran that last stage. They were trying to do the 3-stop strategy, basically keep him on the freshest tires at all times, even with the time penalty.
Well, his
taken.
strategy worked because
It
at
did.
the end the field went forward and he went backwards.
So he stays out on what was it, like 9 lap old tires, which doesn't sound like much.
With what, like 13 or 14 to go?
Yeah, it doesn't sound like much. That's massive at Darlington. That is
Sure is.
And he actually
I mean, we saw earlier in the race 3-lap differential in tires was massive.
the restart he got, insane. I thought he was there talking on the broadcast. It's not if he spins the tires, it's how hard he spins the tires. He
did
launches,
okay.
he's gone. I'm like, I don't know if everybody else was being really timid, thinking he was going to spin the tires, and then he didn't, and everyone was like, shit, and it made it look like he got this great restart. So he drives off, and then it was who was in Larson, and was it Reddick? Second and third?
Busch.
No.
Kyle Busch.
It was Kyle. Yeah, it was Larson and Busch. Fucking Briscoe looked like he had the afterburners on coming off of 2 and just cuts to the bottom, sends it 3 wide on the apron.
Drives
and
right around him.
Slides right up in front of him. And I was like, oh my, what a move. That was ballsy.
Yeah.
Unbelievable the balls on that, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Kyle's trying to reel him in,
Well, wasn't
reel him
there
in.
another caution? Because then we had the
there
late.
was.
What was the last caution? Why am I not remembering what it was?
No, the last one was
No, because Briscoe
Oh.
had his own restart after that.
Yeah, everybody came down for tires, and that's when KB was in like 10th
Yeah.
on fresh tires.
Yes, that was with like 30 or 40 to go. Wasn't it?
what
Wasn't
was
there?
the late caution? Why am I not remembering what it was?
I feel like it was a single car spin or
I
something.
think it was. It was something stupid.
It
whatever.
wasn't Debris.
No, it wasn't debris. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember who the fuck it was. I'm having a brain fart here. I don't remember.
Yeah, because they did that, and then there was a caution where Kyle Busch got tires, and none of the leaders did.
Yeah, there was a bunch of guys came down.
Because
Like,
I don't think Kyle Busch was in that initial battle. I think that was
no,
like Larson and C. Bell or something. I think it was Larson and C. Bell were side by side,
it was Seabell.
and that's when Briscoe passed all three of them into turn 3. Kyle Busch was like 8th on back, and he got the tires.
Yeah, he that final restart, Kyle Busch was in 10th, and he came up to like 4th in one lap. There was a bunch of guys on new tires. Like
'cause
Corey
I think
came in
on that final restart. He restarted 5th when he had the 3-lap newer
Yeah,
tires.
the final that restart at 351. Kyle Busch was the first car with new tires inside row 4.
Yeah, so it was him. Like Corey came in and got tires. Busher, a bunch like a.
So
I think
what
it was,
brought out that caution?
I don't
then?
remember what the fuck brought out that caution. It's gonna bother me until we figure it out. I'll look at it when we're done
Whatever.
doing this. But, yeah. So we had what? It was like a 15-lap run to the end or something stupid like that. Mm-hmm. Kyle Busch on the restart. I mean, he drove damn near again, much like Briscoe did, into one. He's on the apron and just slides up in front of everybody. He dispatches Hamlin. Or no, Hamlin was behind him. He goes by Larson like he's standing still. He goes by Bell like he's standing still. And I'm like, bro, there is no way that he's not winning this race. And then it was a mixture of the tires kind of equalizing with Briscoe, who was on older tires, and also, like we've talked about here 100 times, the old aero bubble.
Oh, did like Timmy Hill blow up? Was that?
That's what it was. Timmy Hill blew up.
No, that didn't cause a caution.
Yeah, I thought he got on a pit road.
No, I was calling that. That's Timmy Hill
okay.
was slow, and I was
right.
yelling in the Discord for him to cause a caution.
right.
That's when Carson
Yep,
did. That
that's
was
right.
that was before
so,
that. I think the last caution was the big wreck.
No.
No, because Kyle Busch, it was with like
Doesn't matter. We're whatever.
30 something, and then Kyle Busch
Keep
had
moving.
a restart. So it must have been that
There was a
restart
restart.
must have been before one of the last wrecks.
I don't know. So Kyle Busch gets up to second, and he's what? At that point, he was like a second and a half behind Briscoe.
Yeah, because Briscoe had, I mean, a hell of a restart.
Yeah, and then what killed me with this last run was I don't know if any of you looked at the interval. The two of them were fucking gone.
Dude, it was like they were like 3.8 seconds over like
I
third.
saw like 5 seconds up at one point. The two of them, Kyle Busch and Chase Briscoe, were fucking gone. Like
They were driving the
checked
race of their
out.
lives.
So Busch is cutting into his lead, and then he gets to like that 0.4 of a second, 0.5 of a second behind. And it was like he would go in, he'd get a little bit, Briscoe would get a better run off. That last like 10 laps I was on the edge of my seat. I was like, I think Joe Sanchez in Discord last night said it perfectly. He's like, my right leg hasn't stopped shaking. Like, I was like all about it. Kudos to NBC, because you got Lee Diffie calling it, which I said last week, I want to see what he does in a kind of normal race. He killed it again.
Yeah.
And kudos to whoever at NBC left it on Kyle Busch's onboard for like 6 straight laps. So you could see how close he was getting. And then when Briscoe would pull away,
awesome.
and they would go to a different camera and then go right back to it. And it created this drama. Like you could physically see how much closer he was getting and then pulling away and then in and out. It was unbelievable. I think Kyle Busch cut it down. There was one part he got down to like a 1/10 and a half.
Car length.
He was a car length or two behind him. I'm thinking, dude, this is insane. Kyle Busch is going to win the Southern 500 and get his way into the playoffs. I mean, either way, it was the same thing. I think a lot of us, our Discord was pretty split on who they wanted to see win at that point.
I was okay with either one.
Either
I
one
was
of
just
them.
enjoying the battles. But I was like, come on, Kyle. I wanted to see him do it.
Yeah.
Just because, like, I hate to say I'm rooting for him, but man,
Yeah.
he has had a rough year, and yeah,
I
that
don't
would have
wanna-
been
I don't
that would have
wanna-
been nice to see him.
I don't want to pull for anything that comes out of the RCR shop, but I will pull for the rest of the year. I want to see Kyle win. We've talked about it before. I like streaks. I want to see the streak continue.
Yep.
And I wanted to see him continue the streak and win his way into the playoffs.
What's astounding to me, I mean, let's finish it up. Obviously, Chase Briscoe does hold him off, wins his way into the playoffs, wins the Southern 500. Once again, holds Kyle Busch off at Darlington, just in a different series this time. So kudos to Chase Briscoe. But what I wanted to say, it's astounding to hear a Kyle Busch who just got eliminated, doesn't make the playoffs, and sound positive.
It was weird. I said it in Discord last night. I said a very mature Kyle was very likable, and I don't know how to feel about that.
Yeah, that's like a very mature,
2 weeks in a row he finished in second. Could have won the race. Could have made his way in the playoffs, and he was both of them, Daytona and this week, very mature. Like, hey, we're on the up. We've got some speed lately.
We're learning. We're improving.
Yep.
That whatever he said, but he handled it with grace, and I give him a lot of credit
100%.
for it.
This win was unbelievable for Chase, not just Chase Briscoe, but to see the emotion on the team. You see his crew chief was bawling his eye. Like this, they flashed to the pit box, and his crew chief has his head on the desk like he's crying. I was seeing the pit crew guys all jumped off the wall, and you instantly saw like two of them almost like drop to their knees, like, oh my God, we did it. Think of the year that those guys have had. Anybody that works for SHR, I mean, if you haven't already left, you've had a summer of not only doing your job, but you're also job hunting. You don't have a job in 10 weeks. And
they still showed up.
The fact that they were able to still bring, this is not like last week with Harrison Burton lucking his way in. Chase Briscoe was in second or third the whole damn night.
Put on an absolute show.
He earned this win.
100%.
And
absolutely 100%.
To see them show up with that speed. Hell, even Priest was in the top 5 at the end there.
Mm-hmm.
To see those SHR cars show up with speed like that in the midst of all the bullshit that those people have had to go through this year, unbelievable. It's a huge win for them. Talk about, feel-good win of the year.
Yeah.
I think.
Big time.
Big
time. To run through the final top 10, Chase Briscoe obviously takes a checkered flag, as we just said. Kyle Busch brings it home second. Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson, Ross Chastain brings it home fifth. Chris Buescher, Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, Corey LaJoie, and Tyler Reddick, your top 10 in the Southern 500. Great run for Mr. Corey LaJoie.
So all the talk of playoff cutoff lines and all that is thrown out the window with the Chase Briscoe win. It did not matter what Bubba and Chris Buescher did. They are out.
Yes. So let's run through who our playoff drivers are now that we're heading to Atlanta, the first race of the playoffs. Ross Chastain, please show up to Atlanta. This time, not Watkins Glen, like you said in your interview.
I saw that.
Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, William Byron, Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Austin Cindric, Daniel Suarez, Alex Bowman, Chase Briscoe, Harrison Burton, Ty Gibbs for the first time as well. Martin Truex Jr. are your 16 going into the playoffs.
Again, shouts to Tyler Reddick. We talked about what he was going through last night, the fact that he gutted out a 10th place finish and beat Kyle Larson for the regular season championship by a single point.
He had 18 points to burn going into this race. He burned all 17 of them.
Yep. So he finished 1 point ahead of Kyle Larson for the regular season championship,
giving him an additional 15 points going into the
puts him
playoffs.
Third place in the playoffs, so it's not confusing at all.
No, it's not confusing in the least bit, but that's a nice little cushion to have going into the playoffs.
Yep.
An extra 15 points.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw what losing 10 did to Denny.
Yeah.
Flip that, gained 15. That's huge for a guy that had one win.
Who?
Reddick. 2 wins, not a ton of stage wins. Like, he didn't have a ton of playoff points before that 15.
Yep.
So for that to vault him up into third in the playoff seating,
It more
that's
than doubled
huge.
what he had.
That's huge.
Yep. He had 13.
Yep. So it was one of the better cutoff races. Like I think I said a couple weeks ago, when was the last time we had a regular season championship battle at the same time as the cut line battle?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it was also, like Lee Diffie said, also shout out to Lee Diffie.
Yeah, unbelievable.
He gets 2 incredible races in a row, and he calls the absolute hell out of them.
Yep.
But 2 wild card winners the last 2 regular season races of the year.
I mean, you can't plan for that, and this is Jordan and Jeff were talking about this on the teardown, that now you feel like you can't, the fact that 2 guys made it in on points this year, and if Austin Dillon's win had stood up for playoffs, you're talking 1 guy makes it in on points. You can't even try for points in the regular season. You have to just go for wins. You can't hope that you'll get enough points to get in 13th, 14th. We had 14 different playoff winners this year, 15 total with Austin Dillon's not counting. This was damn near close to the first next gen year of how awesome this year has been and how all year long we haven't had at the start of the year, Byron looked unbeatable. Then he fell apart. We haven't had that guy all year where it's like, oh, that guy's the championship favorite, or that guy is, or that. It's been like everybody's been all over the place all year long. So you can't go into it going, hey, if we get enough points, we'll get into the playoffs on points. Like you have to just be concentrating on wins next year.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yep.
If you're I'm looking at like the Ross Chastains, the Bubba Wallaces, the Chris Bushers, you have to be concentrating on wins and wins only.
Yeah. We're looking forward to the first round, the round of 16, starting this upcoming Sunday at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And then the following weekend, we head to the Glen, Watkins Glen, and then we head to Bristol. So 3 very different racetracks. Drafty track, road course, short track.
The Glen is looking like it might be a shit show. I don't know if you've heard anything about the tire tests.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently there was a tire test there. I think it was Cindrix was there, and he said that they were having 6 seconds of fall off. And then there was another tire test. I think it was a manufacturer one. I don't know who was there, but I think one of the things I was listening to said it was about a 3 seconds fall off. But that's still, that race could turn into something interesting if we have that shit. I wanted, before we get off of this, some of the stuff, and this is what we see every year, whether it's cutoff rounds in the playoffs or getting into the playoffs, the things that could have just gone a little bit differently and changed this entire outlook.
Oh, yeah.
You got Chris Buescher losing by a literal inch at Kansas. That would have put him in the playoffs. He gets taken out at Darlington by a Reddick slide job gone wrong. That would have put him in the playoffs. How many races did Larson throw away this year that could have given him the regular season championship?
I mean, hell,
if
600.
he would have gone to the 600, he probably would have won the regular season
He
championship.
definitely would have, yeah.
You know what I mean? I've noticed a thing with Larson this year that he seems to be regressing back to the I'm either winning or we're not.
Brent confirmed in the chat, but that I was correct. The Barry Gibbs Wallace
I thought that
wreck was the
happened
last
way
one.
earlier. Okay. All right, our bad.
Well, it confirmed that was the last caution, but the Briscoe pass was before it.
Yes.
And then Kyle Busch restarted in the last caution, passed everybody to catch him.
So there's all these things that are like if one little thing changed, Briscoe
missed
out on the playoffs by an inch.
Mm-hmm.
Larson, if he doesn't throw a bunch of races away this year, including the 600, there's all these, just unbelievable.
If he just doesn't DNF once.
Even Kyle Busch lost out of the playoffs in Atlanta by 0.4 or 0.004 seconds or whatever.
It was a good regular season.
Unbelievable.
So hopefully it's shaping up for a big playoff.
It's hard to look at like the close deficits to being like that's what cost him the chance to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, I
It's
hate playing that
it's
game, but I know what you
easier
mean.
to look at Larson choosing to stay in Indy as that's the reason why he didn't win the regular season championship. Like that's cut and dry.
But you think
Doesn't really matter because he's still seeded first going into the
right.
first
but
round.
even with the 600, he doesn't send it in too deep at where was that Gateway, get on the splitter and then wreck him and Chastain. Should have won that race. You know what I mean? There's
But
so
I mean,
many.
It's not like he has any more real estate for any more of his trophies anyway.
No,
so like,
but
who
it's just-
cares?
I know you hate playing the woulda coulda. I just love looking back at that and it's like, oh, it's right there. Like,
That sucks.
if Buescher's a little more aggressive on Larson at Kansas,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Does he get that extra inch ahead of him and win that race and poof, he's in the playoffs?
Right. Right.
It's just crazy.
Yeah. So we'll see, and looking forward to a exciting playoffs. Hopefully.
Oh,
I
Brent
don't
brings
think
up.
it's going to be boring.
Nope, not at all.
I don't think so. I feel like they've been just getting better and better every year. Brent brings up an interesting or a good thing I wanted to talk about. But bring up the Dale Jarrett and the Cale Yarborough car at the beginning. That was sick.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Sick. And we had the old helmet too.
Yeah.
The Cale helmet. So that was pretty cool.
All
They
right.
need to let these guys open them up when they do that shit though.
Absolutely. Like what? Hate them all you want. I still do. But Richard Childress in the 3-car at Talladega will still, with Johnny Morris bouncing around in the passenger seat with no seat, no seat
Here,
belt.
sit on this sweatshirt right over the exhaust.
He went. I mean, there's a video I've seen it from pit lane. That thing was full song. He was doing $170 at least.
Oh,
going
yeah.
by the front stretch.
And when he drove the 29 car last year,
I don't remember what he did that. I remember him
But he
doing
didn't
it,
rip
but,
that, did he?
RC, they did a lap around with the 29 and the
but
4.
he didn't rip that though. He didn't.
He had a burnout leaving pit road.
Oh, okay, but Talladega, I remember watching the RCR put like a video out.
Yeah, he did like 180 down
Yeah.
the backstretch.
No, it was down the front stretch. He went by the stands, so I remember him talking about it in that video that he made sure he told the crew guys like, make sure this thing can run because I'm gonna do it. And you got Johnny Morris of Bass Pro Shop not strapped in, sitting on the floorboards in the pass street, holding his phone like this. I still want to see that video.
Yeah.
It's been
And-
posted, I'm pretty sure.
I've never seen it. And he does the pace lap, and then he kind of gives him like the nod going down the backstretch, and he just opens it up. He went by the front stretch full song.
Timmy, too many names in the chat.
What?
The god himself.
I don't see him.
I don't see him.
Yeah, just said, look at these 3 sexy beasts.
Well, thank you, Tim, but I don't see you.
Oh, well, it's there. All right,
Blocked his ass.
let's answer some questions, shall we? We will start
Oh,
with
if you're in YouTube, now is the time to ask questions that we will answer after this.
yes, Nathan Danforth. You can run any car at any track in the world. What are you driving and where?
The amount of times I've thought about this because of Corey's show, and now I don't have an answer.
I'm trying to think of something I could actually drive and actually drive it.
Facts.
Like, I'm like, oh, Twisted Sister at
Yeah.
Bristol, but I would fucking wreck in 2
I
seconds.
think one fucking corner. One corner.
Yeah.
I want it to be a
It's gotta
track.
be like an 87 Aero Coupe somewhere.
Well, I would love to like do it track wise. It's got to be somewhere you actually have to drive. Like
I want to go next gen at Watkins because I feel like I could handle it.
Maybe.
Because
Yeah.
they do
Next
well
gen at
there.
Coda would be fun.
But like,
Yeah.
that would be cool. I would love to do like it's got to be a track you drive though. I can't be like, oh, I'm gonna take a Gen 4 around Talladega. How hard is it to put your foot to the
Like
floor?
an 87
You'd be
Aero
dead.
Coupe at Riverside.
Oh, that'd be fun. If it
That'd
was
be
sick.
sick.
Too bad it's a neighborhood now.
There's way too many to even
There's
narrow
a
that
lot,
down.
dude. I mean, yeah, I can't
It's
even
hard to
narrow it
ask
down.
us because we've never raced anything.
Facts.
So we can't just put us in anything.
You
Put us-
did demo derbies.
Yeah, media challenge champion right here. Just in case you wonder. Average finish is
Yeah,
second,
okay.
but,
Then
know.
you can race that car at any track, dude, and we'll take real race cars.
Yeah, like my Ford Focus at Star Speedway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
guy talks a lot of shit finishing 16th.
I weigh twice as much as you. I have no chance.
It's not a go-kart track.
It
He's
affects
talking,
it.
he's talking like it's an electric go-kart at a
It
mini golf
affects
place.
it.
All right, we'll keep moving. Nathan Danforth again. What are your realistic expectations for Briscoe in the 19 next year?
I'm intrigued because he's obviously got the talent. We saw it yesterday. We've
He
seen it
has to win.
before. I think he's got to win.
Yeah. And he said it himself. If I don't win in this, I shouldn't be driving a race car.
Something I was listening to today said, you go from a team like SHR for the last couple years, they've had all their turmoil, all their whatever you want to call it.
Thanks for coming by, Brent.
Love you,
bye.
Brett. Have fun at work in the upside down. You go from SHR, who've been bringing C tier, B tier quality for the last 2 years, if not more,
Yeah.
to now you go to a team where they're not expecting you to win. They're expecting you to contend for the championship.
Yes.
Joe Gibbs Racing is not if we get a win, that'd be great. They're like, no, you should be like in the round of 8 at minimum.
Yeah.
At minimum.
Yeah.
But they prepare like that as well. So he's going to be coming to the track with much better cars, better equipment, more preparation.
He needs to be in the conversation on a regular basis.
We go from SHR where what we talked about a couple times this year, how they have 4 cars and it feels like 2 of them are good each week.
Yeah.
You go to a team where all 4 of those cars could win the race any given week.
Yep.
And so you have to be contending for wins.
Our expectations are high because their expectations are probably even higher. Jet Daly says, Dan, I hate you.
Jet, I love you. He threatened to come burn my house down during race picks, or after Blaney wrecked for my race pick, and then Joe Soul said he'd help.
Yeah,
That would kill like 3 county blocks.
Probably.
Because the old stuff in your house probably very poisonous. It's on fire.
It's not that. It's probably from the 70s. It's not that old.
It's old. They had asbestos back then.
Sam Valley with a couple won some money with Briscoe at plus 8,000. Hell yeah.
Dude,
Jesus.
It's a good payout.
I saw somebody say they got a 6,500. So that was like $1 pays out $600 or $650 or whatever. I don't remember. How
65.
It was. 65. Yeah. No, it was 6,500. So $1 paid out $650.
No, that would be 65,000.
What the fuck did I see?
$1 would pay you out $65.
Maybe it was $10 paid out $650.
Correct.
That's what it was. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. But 85. Damn, I hope you put a least $20 on that.
That'd be amazing.
$20 on an 8,500.
Yeah, that'd be unbelievable.
I don't understand betting. I don't when they're minus, when they're plus. I don't.
When they start talking units, I have no idea what the heck a unit is.
That's when they don't want to tell you how much they put on it.
yeah.
Yeah. We got some in the chat, so keep an eye on those ones. Was it me or was it a quick Southern 500? We talked about that.
That race flew by, but when you have Larson just absolutely dominating,
Right. You had an uneventful 2.5 stages.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Last one from Sam Valley. With the schedule out, got any races you're looking at going to next year? Which we talked about.
all of them.
I mean, the ones we say we want to go to every year that we never do are on the list.
I feel like
always.
I mean, obviously this year we're gonna have gone to what 5, and most of them came together by accident. I mean,
Yeah.
we didn't plan the 500 until the off season last year. That was kind of a fuck it, let's go. We knew we had Pocono and Loudon because we do every year, so those are 2 automatically. Coda was a reason for a bachelor party, which we don't have next year, and same with the Roval is your bachelor party.
Fine, I'll get married next year.
Come on, Norm.
Yeah.
Or Onondaga.
Well, I mean, we could have 2 more bachelor parties if both those ladies come to their senses and get rid of us.
Yeah, facts. That's a good point.
Riddle me that.
I don't know
Riddle me
what's
that.
gonna happen. I don't know what's
Next
gonna
year,
happen next year, though.
we'll convince Dan and Steph to just renew their vows,
Sold.
and then we can have another bachelor party for Dan.
Perfect.
But I feel like a lot of we didn't plan on the 3 other, the 2 of the 3 races or 2 of the 5 races we've gone to this year. So it could just happen. I don't know.
Yeah.
We might find ourselves.
Yeah, I mean,
in
like
places.
we said, Lime Rock.
Definitely going to
We'd
Lime
be
Rock.
kind of silly not to go to that.
Definitely going to Lime Rock.
Dover is always on our radar.
Yep.
The
say
Glen
those.
is
Although
another possibility.
Dover, I don't know if I want to go to Dover because it's going to be in fucking July.
Pass.
That's going to be
It's
smoked.
Lime
now,
Rock.
It's now off our
Let's
radar.
answer that with Lime Rock. L98 Jake with a pair. First one, it's crazy. They got to interview the guy from Space Jam.
We didn't talk about that. So cool to see Michael Jordan getting interviewed.
And
on
he
NASCAR.
knows his shit.
He is a smart son of a bitch.
Holy hell.
Yeah, he's. How many times have you seen owner interviews and they're like, "This guy owns a race team"? Like,
Yeah.
he knew what was going on. He was plugged in.
Oh,
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
And
he
that-
knows. He's invested.
That elephant print headset,
Fire.
Yeah, kind of sick.
Fire.
fire. 2311.
MJ always coming through with the drip, as always. It's just a sticker on the Racing
I know it
Electronics
is,
one, but
but
like,
just
cut me one, please.
Yeah, can we have them too?
All right, and his next one with the back and forth. Do you think Busch had any more, or did he burn up the tires that quick? He was pushing everything
them.
he had.
I think he burnt. Like I said earlier, I think it was the tires equalizing and that aero bubble we talk about, because you could see it when Briscoe wouldn't take his line away, he would gain on him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't as bad as at like a Kentucky or whatever, but it was still prevalent. Kyle Busch, I think, even said it in his post race. He's like, I got to where I could get.
Yeah,
to
and
him,
if either
then-
one of them pushed it too hard and got into the fence, your day's over.
I think
So
Yeah.
there's still a fine line. you
that's
gotta
what I
run
was
there.
waiting for. I was watching Briscoe from that onboard. Every corner, I'm like, oh, it's really close. He's gonna
Yeah,
get
this
the,
is it,
he got
this
the
is it.
fence once. Like, he did brush the fence once, but I was waiting for that moment of him just getting in it just enough where it sucked him in and Kyle could get next to him.
Yeah.
He drove a hell of a race. He was up against the wall that whole 10 laps and didn't he
Yeah,
he
like you said
brushed it
before,
once.
Briscoe did not fall into this.
No.
He was top 5 all day, top 2 most of the third stage. So Briscoe was definitely, it was an Austin Dillon type race for him.
But I was waiting for that moment where he pushed it a little too far because Kyle gained on him a little bit and he got up in the fence. Like I said, he brushed the fence once, I think, with 2 or 3 to go, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. All right. Downriver Diecast with a couple. Anything that sticks out to you about the schedule next year? We talked about that. Do you guys have a favorite team in college football?
I am not a college football guy.
I don't
idea.
watch it at all. I don't think I've watched a college football game in 15 years.
I watch
We're from the north here, sir.
Yeah,
we don't
college
watch
football's
dirt
not-
racing and we don't watch college sports.
biggest college football team we have up here is Boston College, and they're not big.
Yeah.
I usually watch the national championship game every year when we get into January, just because it's fun.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean,
I went to a couple college hockey games.
yeah,
once.
college hockey's big up here, but
I couldn't name you a single player.
I went to, or I didn't go, but I had a buddy from Louisiana who got me into LSU for a couple summers. Like, that place looks sick. If I was like,
Oh, yeah.
I've always thought different life. I would have loved to have gone to one of those southern school where life
West
stops.
Virginia?
No, well, yeah, West Virginia looks pretty cool.
West Virginia is like the craziest
No, I'm talking
tailgate in the world.
I'm talking the Alabama's, LSU,
Texas Longhorns.
Texas A&M, Texas.
Yeah.
In a different life, go to one of those SEC schools where life stops on Saturday. There is
Yeah.
nothing else in the world except for going to that stadium and going to a college football game.
It's insane.
Not even just the South, but like you said, West Virginia,
Yeah.
Penn State's, the whiteout games.
Right.
As a sports fan, those look fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, for sure. And the last one, have any of you listened to Dave and Chuck the Freak on the radio?
I have no idea who that is.
They are a morning show, and I don't think I've ever listened to
I
them.
have the
Never heard
guy
of him.
at my last job when I was first starting in training. I was riding with a guy in his truck. He listened to them every day.
Never even heard
I
of it.
couldn't tell you. I remember they had some weird segments. I couldn't tell you a single one, but I have listened to them.
Was it one of those like morning shows that they're somewhere
Yeah,
else,
and
but they're
there's, like,
syndicated
The-
everywhere?
The goat noises,
Probably.
like the eon,
Yeah,
eon,
yeah.
like random shit like that.
I
It's
can't.
just
I can't do those.
like radio jockey knuckleheads type shit.
Yeah. That's
Everybody-
it for the
everybody-
Instagram. What do we
everybody
got?
wants to be Howard Stern, but can't be Howard Stern.
Yeah, pretty
On
much.
the YouTube, we got one question from Timmy 10 Names. Did I miss the talk of NHMS being a race next year?
Playoff race.
Playoff race. I'm sorry, there's a heart above it.
Oh, I see that.
Playoff race next year. And how do we feel about Truck Series at Lime Rock?
You did miss it.
We did talk about both of those. Both good things. Both we're excited for. Both we will be in attendance for.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
have some-
And you should join us
I actually have some connections at Lime Rock.
because we would love to have you at a race with us.
Because
we love you.
Matt Aubrey's girlfriend Jess, she
Yep.
messaged me right after it got announced. She's like, "If you guys need anything," because she runs all the FCP stuff there.
Yep.
She works
Yeah.
for FCP Euro and she runs a lot of their events there. She's like, "If you guys need anything, let me know." So I might exploit that.
They were avid listeners for a little while.
Yeah, Jess listens every now and then. Yeah,
Yep.
so that might be a thing we have to exploit to get some media passes and such
Perfect. Love it. And that does it. Pretty quick one.
for the regular season. I cannot fucking believe we're
Also-
already 26 weeks into this shit.
Yeah, I know,
Unbelievable.
right? We're in the playoffs already. Random, not NASCAR, but Connor Daly podium finish at Milwaukee.
Saw that.
Yeah.
They had two races there this weekend.
Yeah,
didn't they? They raced
I don't
Saturday
know
and
how he
Sunday.
did the second race,
Yeah.
but huge. I mean, he filled in. I think there was an injury, and he's kind of filling in the second half of the season for a driver. And I think it's their first ever podium finish, so huge for them.
Yep.
We all love Connor Daly. He's a super fun social media presence.
Awesome.
Good follow. He's obviously got Speed Street on Dirty Mo, which is a fun listen every once in a while. Super cool dude. Loves that sport, so it's super cool to see him.
Land back in a car and have some success in it.
One thing I wanted to bring up with the playoffs, and I didn't even think about this. Ford has 6 drivers in it. They have the most out of any manufacturer.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about the same Ford that didn't win a race till week 13.
Yeah.
Where the fuck did they come from?
They showed up when it counted. That's for sure.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see how they shake out. Couple last minute entries there.
Yeah.
But
no kidding.
nonetheless, they got 6.
I mean, who do we think's knocked out first round?
see, it's tough with
three of those Fords at least.
probably.
It's so hard with the wild
with
card of
Atlanta? Who
Yeah,
knows?
Yeah, you got-
exactly.
Burton, Cindric, Briscoe. I think those are pretty early knockouts.
I don't know, man.
Unfortunately, with how Truex has been running,
I'm going Burton, Suarez, Cindric.
4.
all right. So throw Suarez
Guarantees, I was throwing-
onto my list of
guarantees.
the 3.
Yeah, I think I don't know though. Suarez could show up at Atlanta, and you got a road course too. You got Watkins Glen.
Fair.
That's a fucking wild card in itself. That throws a bunch of guys in wild card. I mean, Cindric.
I would put like
Cindric's a good road racer.
Brad K on the list of riskiness.
Cindric's a good road racer, and he did that tire test there with the new tire.
Yeah. True.
Brad K, you're right. I mean, he could go out and win Atlanta, or he could get involved in a wreck. He's not a good road racer.
No.
Brad K could be in trouble.
Which is funny because Brad K is the number one highlight reel of road courses ever.
Yes.
But he has just recently not been a good
Martin
road racer.
Truex, not good at drafting tracks. A decent road racer, but not like lighting the world on fire.
Atlanta, I'm not
Good
that
at
worried
Bristol,
about
though.
Martin
He
at
is good at
Atlanta
Bristol.
because he's usually one of those ride around, save your shit. So at Atlanta, I'm sure he'll come out with a top 15.
Yeah.
Yeah. First round should be interesting. We'll see how it shakes out.
It's a chaotic first round when you actually sit down and look at it because
Yeah.
you could pick 3 different guys from the playoffs at each track that could be good. Like Suarez might suck everywhere else, but he can go out and win Watkins Glen.
Yeah.
You know? Or Cindric's a good road racer. He could go out and win Watkins Glen and completely flip everybody's shit on its head. You know? That's probably why I won once again this year not doing a bracket because
This is why it's exciting and why we'll have to just wait and see.
I'm excited.
Me too. Well, I guess that does it for yet another episode of the Loose is Fast podcast. Before we sign off, follow us on all of the socials at
LoosesFast_pod on Instagram and Twitter, and the Looses Fast podcast on YouTube, which you should go do that even if you don't watch us on YouTube because it helps us. So
like, comment, and subscribe.
go subscribe to our YouTube channel even if you never have an intention of watching us. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah. Fill out a review. tag us where you're listening. Share the story image share the show image that Norm so eloquently makes.
Make sure to donate to B4B.
Yep.
Do
that.
Kyle's race day challenge.
Do that.
That's a big one.
Like our posts on Instagram, including the race picks that Dan posts after his guy gets knocked out every week.
He's Instagram.
Oh,
Yep.
Kyle posts that after.
Yeah, that's me.
So you just
technically-
wait till Dan's guy gets knocked out and then
Yeah,
post it on
which is
Instagram?
usually pretty early.
Yeah.
So,
I have access to the Instagram. I just leave it to him though because I deal with the Twitter. So
I'm Kyle Belcher,
Dan Walker.
Norm Beltier,
and we'll catch you down in hot Atlanta.
Georgia.
ATL.
We talking regularly, baby.